Town Hall. Anna Thomason. Still photos and video from the scene almost defy description. A towering wall of water, a mountain of mud and debris engulfing communities along the Nepal-China border, swallowing up people and property in a flash. The BBC's Vita de Hall says search and recovery is underway amid the harshest of conditions.
Night vision helicopters were used to search for people and deliver help. Rescue and relief teams are working from bases in Thunche and Nuwakot, two worst hit districts. A BBC reporter from the affected area says there is no electricity, no road access and no internet. 5 trucks carrying relief supplies have already been sent, with more aid on the way. The United States, China, the European Union and India have also offered help.
The death toll, at least 270. Dozens of Americans are among the more than 1,000 people unaccounted for. Authorities say the collapse of a glacier is to blame for the catastrophe. 25 years after the 9/11 attacks, a military judge has now set a trial date for alleged terrorist mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Trial scheduled to begin June 5th of 2028, 18 months later than the January 2027 start that prosecutors had requested. A trial was previously scheduled in 2021, but that was later canceled. Closing argument set to begin in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy, the Massachusetts mother accused of strangling her 3 young children several years ago. Clancy has pleaded not guilty. Her lawyers argue that she was experiencing postpartum psychosis when she killed the youngsters. Prosecutors contend Clancy planned the killings and understood that her actions were wrong. Testimony concluded in the trial's 5th week. On Wall Street, the Dow futures are down 9 points. NASDAQ futures up 331. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Are you carrying more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Do you feel like you're running on a financial treadmill, making payment after payment, month after month, yet never getting ahead? If you're tired of watching your hard-earned money disappear into interest charges, there may be options available to help you take back control of your finances. At Total Financial Freedom, they'll show you what qualified consumers may be able to save through programs designed to help them resolve debt faster than making minimum payments alone. The consultation is free, confidential, and comes with absolutely no obligation. Why spend years, sometimes decades, paying thousands in interest when there may be a better path forward? Total Financial Freedom is a Christian-owned company that has helped thousands of Americans pursue financial freedom for nearly 20 years and is proudly A+ rated and accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now and ask how you can receive a complimentary copy of The Debt Dietitian. Stop running in place. Start moving toward financial freedom at 866-844-7344. 866-844-7344.
China's foreign minister says his country and the United States need to overcome obstacles between the nations ahead of an expected September summit between Presidents Trump and Xi. Wang Yi met U.S. Ambassador to China David Perdue this week. Chinese state broadcaster reports called on both sides to focus on a positive agenda, manage differences, remove interference, and overcome obstacles to high-level exchanges. Presidents Trump and Xi met in May in Beijing. At that time, they pledged to keep the relationship stable and maintain the fragile trade truce. Canadian military spending is surging, with companies expanding into defense contracting. Buxley, known for luxury parkas, is now making high-tech military gear. The Canadian government is investing billions to reduce its reliance on American suppliers. This shift is partly due to pressure from the U.S. to contribute more to NATO, while strained relations between Washington and Ottawa. News and analysis at townhall.com. In communities both large and small around the country, one manifestation of the AI boom is kicking up a storm of controversy. It's forcing politicians to stand up and take notice.
In the small Nebraska village of Murdoch, now paused plans for 2 potential data centers have sparked the kinds of debates that have raged in cities and towns across the country. And those debates often cut across ideological lines. Some see job opportunities that can help the U.S. compete with China in technology. Others worry about losing farmland and the high amounts of electricity and water needed to power those centers. Keith Peters, Washington.
Strong demand for NVIDIA's high-end artificial intelligence chips is sending the company's bottom line soaring. NVIDIA's latest quarterly results blew the doors off Wall Street's expectations. The company is reporting a net income that tops $59.5 billion. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund. Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
People are out there saying, the Iranians are never going to live by it. But let me tell you something. President Trump is going to bomb them again if they screw around.
Hopefully they live up to it. And if not, the pounding's coming. We're going to do it again and again and again.
The Cats and Cosby Show, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
Trump is the toughest president we ever had.
Well, he's definitely the best bomber.
August 17th. Big changes are coming. Staying put at noon to 3. Michael Patrick Leahy moves to 3 o'clock, followed by Cats and Cosby at 5. America's new boss for conservative talk is the John Fredericks Media Network.
Wagering at its finest, playing at the highest levels, under the highest stakes for more than a decade. This is the world past the wire has conquered, bringing you uncompromised thoroughbred authority and elite track data that anchors the game. But the modern wagering landscape is expanding. Every sport, every line, every prop, and every high leverage future, we decode the metrics across the entire board. From game day spreads to the explosive new frontier of prediction markets and event contracts, we give you intelligence to dominate the modern financial exchanges. Because in the end, it's a battle. You versus the house. You versus the other players. In this arena, we fight with you. We are your ultimate edge. Welcome to the Ultimate Wagering Network. Subscribe to Past the Wire TV and turn on notifications, because when the dust settles,
nobody does it better.
Saturday morning, 6 on the radio, 11 on JFMN.TV.
Well, happy Friday Eve, everybody. Thursday morning here on the John Fredericks Media Network. I can't believe that we're already here based on my schedule this week. No place like home. Good to be back. Good to get a good night's sleep in my own bed last night. In any event, this is Dan Hobgood, and time for a look at, among other things, weather and sports. We'll start as we always do with where I am in Richmond, Virginia, where the high today will be 89 degrees. Storms expected this afternoon, a low tonight of 70, still stormy. Right now, the temperature in the River City, 71 degrees. Squirrels fall to Portland last night, 5-4. First pitch for the two teams tonight at 7:05 p.m. at Carmakes Park on what will be Grateful Dead night. In Dan Hobgood's household, that's paying homage to the other Jerry G. Moving on to D.C., the high today will also be 89 degrees. Possible storms this afternoon, a low tonight of 69. Storms likely. Right now, the temperature in Washington, 73 degrees. The Rockies throttled the Nats yesterday, 13-1. First pitch for the two teams today at 1:05 p.m. Commanders at Ravens tomorrow night to close out preseason action for those two teams, 6 p.m. on NFL Network. In Atlanta, a high today of 83 with possible storms, a low tonight of 70. Right now, the temperature in Georgia, 73 degrees. The Braves topped the Dodgers last night, 6-5. First pitch for the two teams tonight at 7:15. Falcons at Dolphins tomorrow night at 7 p.m. In Nashville, you're looking at a high today of 89, a low of 66. Right now, the temperature 69 degrees in Middle Tennessee. Philadelphia, your high today will be 87. Storms expected this afternoon, a low of 71 this evening. Possible storms still. Right now, the temperature in eastern Pennsylvania 73 degrees. The Phils blank the Mariners last night 6-0. Bengals at Eagles tomorrow night 8 p.m. on CBS. Morgantown, shout out to all Yins in West Virginia. A high today of 84, a low of 63 tonight. Right now the temperature also 63 in wild and wonderful West Virginia. And last but certainly not least in my heart, all of you Yinzers in Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania to be specific, we're talking about Pittsburgh. A high today of 83, Heath Miller. A low of 62. Right now the temperature, Mario Lemieux, 66 degrees. The Buccos fall to the Padres yesterday, 3-0. Steelers at Bills, 7 p.m. tonight on NFL Network. Meanwhile, in the NFL, the league is axing the Pro Bowl, but will still recognize Pro Bowlers among players. Bringing you today's weather and sports update is the Godzilla Wins radio show for the best insight, analysis, and picks. Watch and listen to Godzilla Wins Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. All across the John Fredericks Media Network. Plus, to get John's daily sports fix, go to GodzillaWins.com. Once again, that's GodzillaWins.com. Okay, we've had a couple days off, but get those active minds ready for a few words to the wise. Okay, everybody. Well, in my absence, Michael Coleman set a new record for the quickest morning philosophy lesson on the John Fredericks Media Network. I will not be breaking his land speed record this morning, or probably on any other. Instead, I'll pick up with where I left off on Monday when I teased that I'd be discussing two major political changes necessary for the sake of alignment with our pro-rights, pro-freedom law. The first of these changes won't surprise anybody who's heard me on the mic, and that's the elimination of so-called, quote-unquote, public property. I say so-called because the phrase public property is a contradiction in terms, and at least quasi-oxymoron. The whole purpose of the concept of property is to designate ownership, to indicate that something belongs to X, not Y. Couple the word property with the word public, though, and you end up with the very chaos that property and property rights are supposed to prevent. And make no mistake, public property makes sensible enforcement of property rights impossible. Inevitably, public property results in government rule by arbitrary fiat. And one of the ways in general that government arbitrarily rules over public property is by taking it off the market, precluding anybody from making a purchase or a sale. This is a rights violation in and of itself. Quite technically, with public property, rights disputes are irresolvable because allegedly everybody has an equal claim to the property. Completely unlike with public property, meanwhile, the way to resolve territorial conflicts in a private property system is quite straightforward, by determining who owns the property. Correspondingly, whoever does thus dictates how it's used, within civil limits naturally. Most troubling, as public property inevitably is government-run, it eviscerates the would-be wall of separation between business and state that we've talked about, whereby the umpire is no longer just calling the game, but also playing in it too, having to engage in self-officiating against interest. And would you be willing to bet that the government will call strikes against itself dispassionately? Yeah, me neither. And if the watchdog is a full-on participant in the system, who's meaningfully watching the watchdog? See the problem? The big problem here? You've surely experienced it in some form or fashion. Furthermore, for as long as government is taxing the populace at the point of a gun, funding government-run so-called quote-unquote public property is a matter of robbing Peter to pay Paul. And that's an absolute no-no, rights-wise. Public property is part and parcel of the totalitarian systems that DSAers idolize and worship. All property becomes government property. And the more quote-unquote public property we have, the closer that we are to being a totalitarian regime. Conversely, the closer we are to a fully private property system, where the only government-run property is actually necessary government property, the closer we are to a rights-sanctifying, rights-respecting, free society. We can pretend otherwise, but that's just it. As we've resolved at this point, that would be the dishonest, unjust, immoral, and unconstitutional thing to do. I think that I'd like to be on the good side of that ledger. Just a reminder, folks, you can catch up on all these reports by going to the John Fredericks Media Network's socials or by following me on Facebook. All of the Dan Hobgood reports are located there in reverse chronological order. Until tomorrow, this has been Dan Hobgood for the John Fredericks Media Network. Outside the Box with the Ox is next, followed by The John Fredericks Show. Stay tuned, everyone.
The Forward Independence Party of Minnesota. An NPR story covers how a dozen or so people on this year's ballot banded together in this effort to break into a system where it's really not allowed. The party co-chair said, quote, "We are creating something that the people of Minnesota desperately need, a willingness to put the public interest ahead of the partisan interest." Ah, yes, November 3rd, 1998.
Thank you for renewing my faith that the American dream still lives. When all the experts were saying he can't win, no, that's not true. We can win. And we have won.
But that was a time when the Democrat and Republican candidates both insisted they wanted smaller governments and lower taxes. It was hard to discern a difference. So Jesse the Body wins with just over a third of the overall vote. Fast forward to today, it's impossible. Because thinking outside the box, they're telling us there's a home for politicians who don't have an opinion one way or another about spending an $18 billion surplus on bigger government, taxing Social Security, letting the governor be the king again for the next pandemic, allowing men and women's sports, boys and girls locker rooms, and public funding of sex changes for all 5-year-olds who want one.
When our children tell us who they are, it is our job as grown-ups to listen and to believe them.
If they do have an opinion on any of these, which it's impossible not to, regardless which way they go, they're painted into a corner having one political home and only one. Here outside the box with the Ox in the Eastern Time Zone and now in West Virginia on the John Fredericks Media Network.
John Fredericks.
It is the most egregious thing I've seen in a lifetime.
President Trump.
The whole thing.
Now, download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play and get the entire Mountaineer sports world in the palm of your hand. Right now. Get notified when new stories drop about your favorite Mountaineers teams and athletes. Download the WV Sports Nation app right now. Get updates on next level Mountaineers like Weatherholt and Joe Mazzulla. All that and more right in your pocket right now. Download the new WV Sports Nation app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Download the app right now. Godzilla Wins, where you get the best insight and best information.
More winners.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's The John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who tells his players to just keep swinging, John Fredericks.
Governor Shapiro from Pennsylvania made some comments yesterday, said your actions, the rhetoric coming from the administration are having a negative impact on communities across America, particularly in Pennsylvania. He says at least visit parents in a position where it's harder for us to do our jobs to protect our children. Comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple of comments on that. One is that we're trying to get information about those two casualties. According to a statement that was released by the Lancaster County Commissioner today, they cannot find any measles deaths in Lancaster County. And they complain that the governor will not give them that information. CDC tried to get that information from the governor yesterday, and the state is refusing to cooperate. We're doing a better job than any country in the world at controlling the measles outbreak. This is a worldwide epidemic, and it's happening because of the lockdowns, because many kids did not get vaccinated during the lockdowns. And then you had a dramatic diminishment of public faith in the regulatory agencies during the COVID period because of government overreaching, because of the gaslighting and the manipulation. So even in my discussion with Governor Shapiro yesterday, and he said to me, well, we've seen this big drop in vaccination rates in the state from 97 to 92.3. He admitted on the phone that it all happened during the Biden administration. Since I've been in office, since President Trump's been in office, there's been a 0.1% diminishment. We are actually restoring faith in the public health agencies, so people will take our advice. And our advice is that people should get the measles vaccination. There are certain communities and certain religious communities that won't do that, and we want to take care of those kids as well. So, Mexico has 11 times the amount of measles cases as we do. Canada has 4 times the amount of measles cases. Britain has 2 times. We've done it every place there's been a measles outbreak. I've sent the CDC in to cooperate with the state health agencies, and we've brought it to an end overnight. And the only state that won't cooperate with us is Pennsylvania, and we can't get any information. The press is all covering this as if those measles deaths actually happen, but nobody's doing a little bit of critical inquiry to find out. We're trying to figure out whether, who those deaths were and whether they actually happened, and we can't figure that out yet.
The ballot, Sean, you and I both know that if the Democrats take the House or the Senate, his legislative agenda is over. He will be investigated. He will be impeached for a 3rd time. His legislative agenda is over. He is on the ballot. He proved that last night in South Carolina. When he puts his foot into it, he can get results. Darlene won last night. She worked really, really hard. But President Trump coming to Myrtle Beach, President Trump putting his foot into it, that, I am convinced, is what pushed her over the top.
Well, I'll also add a lot of other good people. You had our mutual friend, Tim Scott. We had you and the governor and a lot of congressmen that had run in the original primary supporting her. They deserve a lot of credit, too.
Russell Fry. Yes,
but, yeah, I mean, the guy leading the train, the guy with the most juice is President Trump by a long shot. But
a back door, and so is Russia.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions here, and it is obviously in the backdrop of the midterm elections in November, fewer than 70 days. The president's foreign policy handling, his job approval on the Iran situation, on U.S. foreign policy overall, is underwater, and this is part of the problem, the Iran war and how it sits. However, if you look at last night's runoff elections in South Carolina, Darlene Graham pulls off this win with the backing of President Trump. The Oklahoma governor candidate that the president endorsed, Mazie, pulls out the win in Oklahoma. If you look at the endorsement tracker, the numbers for the president's endorsements, the U.S. Senate's at 100%. The U.S. House, he's missed 4. It's at 98%. Governor, he's a little bit down at 76%, but a total of endorsements at 97%. Point being, the numbers show that he is still very strong in the Republican Party. And even though approval numbers, is this election going to be a referendum on President Trump?
Yeah, I mean, I would say two things about that. The first thing is, particularly with the South Carolina primary and with Ms. Graham, every single time the chattering class in Washington starts to say, "Oh, Donald Trump is losing his grip on the party," and I'm going to just say, Brett, I have been part of that. Every time that happens,
that's a good realization. Thank you for that. I feel like a confessional.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
But every time that happens, he so far has proven us wrong. So there's that. And, I will just leave it there.
Okay, Ben.
Well, look, I think the president's dominance over the party is
Hey, folks, Dan back with you this Thursday morning, August 27th, 2026. Good to be back in Richmond after a trip to South Carolina to at least observe what was going on down there with regard to the Senate primary, the impromptu primary following Senator Lindsey Graham's death. Obviously, his sister wins over Ralph Norman, not to be confused with former Virginia Governor Ralph Northam. I make that mistake all the time, folks. It's just inevitably going to happen based on my Virginia background here. But got to speak to Congressman Norman, who I think is going to be retiring to private life after his term in Congress ends coming up this January. But what a nice guy, very decent seeming guy. Obviously, John and I were rooting for him to win the primary. We're sad that he didn't, but we'll see what happens from here. Darlene Graham is going to be the Republican nominee on the ballot, and pretty much de facto, somebody who is the Republican nominee is preferential to the Democrat nominee. Even if the terms Republican and Democrat, as I've explained on the Dan Hopkins Report, are basically synonymous, there's a big difference, practically speaking, between what Republicans are and what Democrats are these days. And for me, it's a no-brainer in terms of who's the better variation. We did have a call on the line. I was going to see if Mel wouldn't mind if I get to him instead of John. Mel in Saratoga Springs. Hey, how are you, buddy?
Hey, good morning, Dan. It's good to talk to you, and thank you for taking the call.
Absolutely.
Hey, Larry Yes, sir. Thank you. Hey, Larry Krasner, the DA of
Philadelphia, yeah.
This guy's got more nerve than a toothache. And, and for as far as Todd Blanche is concerned, I think this guy is a Democrat plan. He's always been a Democrat hack, throughout his career. And why President Trump's got him in his cabinet is way beyond me. For this guy to threaten to blow up the ballroom and take pieces and use it as a paperweight, that's a threat. That's a federal crime. And why does Krasner, the way he said about blowing up the ballroom, is still out here walking free, is well beyond me. If I were, Kash Patel, why is he not kicking this guy's door in the middle of the night, dragging his backside out of his house, and throwing him in the back of a car and take him right to Guantanamo? I don't understand it. You just can't go speaking like that and getting away with it. Now, if I were to say something like that, I know what would happen to me or anybody, the average American. I know what's going to happen. Your dog's getting kicked in, Jack, and it ain't no joke. They're going to drag you out, whoop your behind, and they're going to take you right on a plane and right down to Cuba you go, to Guantanamo. How's this guy getting away with it is way beyond me. I don't understand. And I do support President Trump 2028, but hey, Mr. President, you better start getting tough. You better start showing some of that Queens street cred, man, and get tough out here on these people because, your base is starting to have second thoughts. But like I said, I support you, but you better start acting like a president, man, of the United States and have the American people's best interest in mind. And stop letting these goddamn Democrats keep getting away with all the BS. Because I wouldn't piss on a Democrat who's laying on the ground here in front of me on fire to put him out.
Right.
I've got confrontations with Democrats where I live in Saratoga Springs, more or less on a daily basis. And I tell them, don't look at me, don't speak to me. Y'all ain't no kind of good. Don't even speak to me, please. But Mr. President, you better get your act together, man.
Yeah, Mel, I know that everybody's frustrated. It seems to be a two-tiered way of operating things here. The rules for Democrats versus rules for Republicans, rules for leftists versus rules for those who lean right. But yeah, all I can say is I hear you. I hear you. We got to get to a break here coming up, folks. Almost 6:32 in the morning on this Thursday, August 27th, 2026. I hope that you'll stay with us. Dan, at least on the mic for the time being, for John Fredericks, you're listening to The John Fredericks Show.
Ponder this. Most people want to have a good day every day. In order to do this, we must start our day with gratitude and keep an attitude of gratitude throughout the day. I offer you my recipe for having a great day and a joyful life. First, start each day being grateful that the Lord has given you another day to serve Him. Roll yourself out of bed, get on your knees, and say a morning prayer of thanksgiving. Ask the Lord to help you throughout the day to do whatever His will is for you. Next, thank God for the little things that make your day better. I thank Him immensely for my morning coffee and for my legs that allow me to take a morning walk. I pray for those who cannot walk because of age, injury, or disability. Throughout the rest of the day, I am grateful for the people God has placed in my life. I thank Him for those who love me, and I pray especially for those who do not love me. Find ways in your day to thank God continually and offer prayers for all those the good Lord has placed in your daily path. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Solti almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Solti, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Pierce 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task was sent off.
Trying to get our 2 boys ready to carry them to the golf tournament for practice, right? 12 cats live across the road.
Our door's open. Screen's broke. We need to get a new screen door, but the screen's broke. So you can come in through the screen, but you can't get back out of it. I turn and look, there's a little kitty cat in our kitchen. So I said, what are you doing in here, little kitty cat? By that time, the cat turns, tries to get back out. That screen won't go that way. Cat starts going, meow, all crazy. And I told our players, we need more dogs. Bo's barking in the back. I have to go shut Bo up. Mel's like, what's going on? I said, there's a cat in the house. Cat in the house? I said, yeah, there's a cat in the house. So I told our players, I tried to let it out the front door. Meow, meow, the cat's still going crazy in there. And I told our players, you need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Well, it's great to be back. Good to have you with us. And I am your Godzilla of the Truth in America. More internet problems today, Dan. Don't know what really is going on here every time I come, but it is what it is. We'll be out next week. We'll be in Nashville all week next week. But here we are back today. Good to have you with us. Great show. We got DC Dispatch coming up. They're going to be with us at the top of the 9 o'clock hour. We got Rob Carson's going to be joining us at 8. And it's good to be back. Good to be back in the nation's capital in DC. And thanks for joining us today. As always, we're going to be rocking and rolling. Lots to talk about. We got Vic in Florida, line 1. Let me just give an overview of what is going on. This I just got the itinerary for the convention in Dallas. This thing is going to be hot. Don't make no mistake about it. President Trump is going to pull out all the stops. The campaign is going to start in the fall. It is going to commence with this convention in Dallas. And we got something like 58 speakers. President Trump will be there both days. He'll be addressing the convention Wednesday and Thursday. His keynote is on Thursday. Vance's keynote is on Wednesday. This place is going to be absolutely packed and ready to go. And I tell you what, all the fake polls out there you're getting, they're going to start to turn in September. The fake ones, they can't fake it enough, but they're going to start to turn as we get into September. And mark my words, I'm always right about this stuff. You look at the legitimate polls, Rasmussen, McLaughlin, some of those, they're going to start to turn because people are now understanding that this economy is roaring. Things are getting better. There's a plan in place, and the Democrats offer them absolutely nothing but communism and more nonsense and impeachment, and they're not going to stand for it. This is why I'm still bullish, and I think we're going to win. Now, President Trump, he's got to get out there. He's got to get on the road. After September, after that convention, get on a plane, get whatever you go. Don't go back to the White House. Rally after rally after rally after rally is what we're going to need. He's starting in Texas. He's going to be there tomorrow in Houston, Texas for Paxton. This is what we got to do. He proved in South Carolina when he gets engaged and MAGA Inc. spends all that money and the PAC gets the calls out and they do the teletown halls and they get their act together and they send the emails and they do the robocalls. They can get their voters out. They got them out in South Carolina for somebody nobody heard of or wanted. These people came out there and they voted for Darlene Graham for one reason. Trump asked them to, period. Had nothing else to do with her. It was her debate performance was an absolute abysmal clown car, but it doesn't matter. Trump asked people to vote for his person. They got out, low propensity voters, and they did it. This is why the Democrats now, they're looking at South Carolina, and I was the first one to tell you this. Now everybody's saying it. Isn't it amazing how I'm always ahead? Thank you. Right? Everybody's saying what I said that morning. This is now shows you the power this president has. And he's going to start saying, hey, I might not be in a ballot, but you're going to make believe I am. That's what they did in South Carolina. And that was highly successful. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. A couple of announcements. You want to follow me on social media, at JF Radio Show, at JF Radio Show. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which has got everything we have here. It's podcasted. People call it a podcast. We're live, so I don't call it that. But it's podcasted, which means you can get it on demand. Just go to our YouTube channel. You can download there All you have to do is go to johnfredericksmedia.com. John Fredericks, go to YouTube, John Fredericks Media. It'll come right up. Every segment, every phone call, everything is there posted in the afternoon. You can get the whole show. You can get parts of it. We've also got our clips up. You can follow me on social media. And if there was ever any time to follow me, it's right now because of these midterms coming up. You got to follow me right now. This is the time to do it. Also, announcement so everybody knows, if you're listening to me in Atlanta on AM 1690, the programming in Atlanta is being changed. It's not us. We have sold it. We're in the process. I have to say the right words for the FCC. We're in the process of a sale. It's a matter of public record. FCC has to approve it. But in the meantime, starting September 1st, another company is doing what is called a license management agreement. Midnight, September 1, they take over programming. So if you tune us in on Wednesday on AM 1690, you're going to get a completely different programming. It's had nothing to do with us. Different owners, different programming. If you're on our app, WMLB, that's fine. If you go to 690.com, 1690.com, and you get that, that's fine. Nothing will change. But if you're on terrestrial radio right now, go ahead and download our app, whether it's the WMLB app, or just go to John Fredericks Radio and download the main app, or download the TV app, jfmn.tv. Lots of ways to find us. But you will not get any of our programming on AM 1690 in Atlanta starting on midnight, September 1st. This is a done deal. So they are taking the programming over. Michael Comer has already set it up. They've already been in contact with us. And that is happening September 1st. And that sale should go through, sometime in October. Let's get to the phone lines. Vic in Florida, line 1. Vic, you're live.
Good morning, John. John, it's no wonder that you have President Trump's ear, because you are the Pied Piper of MAGA. No doubt about it, John.
Thank
and
you.
I want to thank you and thank Dan for highlighting the evil of Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. He did a couple of things this week, very evil things. I think he wants to be the next Fauci. Maybe if God answers our prayers, they'll both be in a jail cell together. That would be interesting. With a camera on them 24/7. You know what I mean, John?
Yep.
Anyway, getting back to what Josh Shapiro did, he's trying to get extraordinary powers in the executive office of the governor so he can do all the things that were done during COVID. Shut down schools, go onto private property, arrest people for speaking the truth, and all that kind of stuff. He really wants to do these things. Hard to believe, but he's trying to do it. And also, he got caught by Bobby Kennedy. Josh Shapiro is trying to claim that a couple of people in Pennsylvania passed away, died from measles. He's trying to excite some kind of a scare. Josh Shapiro is a very evil guy, and I want to thank you for highlighting his evil behavior. God bless you, John. God bless Dan. God bless the program, and God bless America. Thank you, John. Take care.
Vic, thank you. And we've got a couple clips on that, but I'm saving them for the Pennsylvania Posse on Monday, Dan. So be sure and save the 826 Gravy, and don't delete that file, because I've got them for Pennsylvania Posse. But Shapiro's a liar, and he wants to get all these executive powers, and he wants to say, hey, if I'm president, this is what I'm going to do. And basically he wants, it's like in the United Kingdom, if you say something they don't like, they're going to simply knock on your door, handcuff you, and put you in jail. I mean, this is where the Democrats and the communists are going. And if you don't believe this, you live under a rock. This is what they do. As soon as they take over, they clamp down on your speech. This is what the Marxists do. And so Shapiro's already tipping his hand, and he's trying to do this now so he can run for president and say, see, I did this as a governor. Vote for me, and I'll do it to all the MAGA people. I'll shut everybody down. I'll put them in jail. I'll have internment camps. I mean, you think this is a joke? You got a jihadist, you got a Muslim jihadist running for Senate in Michigan that basically is there because of October 7th. That's why he ran. I mean, people got to understand this. And all this is getting out. The summer's been this silly season. You got all these fake polls. Democrats are going to win 50 seats. None of this is going to happen, folks. And I'm going to be in Dallas. We got a Radio Row. We got a box there. We're going to be full force. We're going gangbusters in Dallas because that, to me, is going to be the starting point of this campaign. And Trump is going to get on the road. He's going to turn the corner. And when we start doing this, and we start getting our people out, and we engage our Trump voters, they're not going to vote for the communists. Now, the blue states, they'll win their share of seats, but I believe we're going to hold the House. It's going to be slim, but it doesn't matter. I don't care if we hold it by a seat. Tell them I care. We're going to hold the House, and we're going to win the Senate. I don't think we're going to lose one seat in the Senate other than the North Carolina seat is likely to flip. Who cares? Tillis sucked anyway. Better, it doesn't matter who's in there. He was a problem. Whatley's far behind. They'll probably flip that. But now we got a shot now in New Hampshire. A new poll, a new fake poll. Hey, when the fake polls are showing us tied, add 10. You got Sununu is now up in New Hampshire. Sununu could win this seat. So we got that. We got Michelle Tafoya can be competitive. I would be shocked if she pulled the upset in Minnesota. Tiffany's going to get elected governor of Wisconsin. We got so many good things here. The doom and the gloom and the crying and the whining and the clickbaiters and the Mark Shorts. I had 15 clips of Mark Short blasting Trump. Shut up. You know what? Go away, Mark Short, right? You were like Pence's guy. Where's Pence now? Where's Pence? No one cares what Pence says. No one cares what you say. No one cares, right? The straights they're getting open more every single day. I got clips on that. So you know what? Be cheery today. We're going to turn the corner. The worst is behind us. The worst gas prices, the worst inflation, the worst is in the rearview mirror. The best is coming over the next 60 days. These straits are open, folks. The oil is flowing through. And when the IRGC says it's closed and the Democrats say it's closed, they're lying. I mean, the ships are getting through at a record number now. Where I understand from people, we're 3 weeks from the same level of shipping before this started. Then gas prices are going to plummet. So we're escorting them through. We're doing without fanfare. We're not banging our chest, jumping up and down. We're just getting these ships through, and we're taking control of the strait, and they can't control it, and Iran has no leverage. So all these good things are happening. Phone lines open, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Rob, line 2 in New York. Rob, go. You're live.
Good morning, John.
What's up?
I think I agree. And again, you were ahead of the pack, calling that Trump still has the juice. And now you listening to everyone else. You played that Trey Gowdy clip. My only concern about that whole thing is actually it's not really so much of a concern. It's really we should be reminding the rest of the elected Republicans stop running away from Trump.
Yes,
and we as the voters should not just rely exclusively on Trump, because I love the guy. I've happily voted for him 3 times, but he's out of there in 2028. So, or after 2028. So what I'm saying is we have to start thinking who picks up the mantle. I mean, obviously we got to focus on 2026. I mean, I'm listening to all this nonsense of people trying to figure out 2028. I'm like, hey guys, 2026 first, control of the House, so that we don't get a clown show of impeachments every day. And by the way, I know we talked about the other day with Hakeem Jeffries and Jared Kushner. What if that was done intentionally? Because and what I mean by that is so many people took the bait. And what did Hakeem do? He came out and boldly started talking about how they're going to use lawfare and impeachments. So if I'm a Republican, I'm looking at that saying, well, I don't want that crap. I better vote for the GOP, even if I have to hold my nose, because I don't want 2 years of that nonsense. We'll never get anything done.
Interesting perspective. We didn't count it out. I'm not sure if it was done on purpose or they just lucked into it, or Hakeem Jeffries took the bait. He definitely took the bait on it. But I mean, we played that clip. We played that now 2 times in 2 days. You can't get enough of it because he basically told you exactly what he's going to do: impeach everybody, try to put everybody in jail. That's what they're going to do. And so nothing will get done. There'll be no affordability. It's all baloney. They don't have a plan. They don't have anything. They have nothing but communist, Marxist, and jihadists running around trying to take over their party. These people are bankrupt of ideas. They're bereft of anything meaningful. They have no policies. All they do is hate Trump derangement syndrome, and they're going to lock people up. I mean, that's their plan. Save our democracy, whatever the hell that means, right? Save our democracy.
And yet they run around calling Trump a Nazi, a dictator, a fascist. None of that's true about him. But we have the evidence. I mean, you have those Grabian files, clips, that is. Just play them. Everybody should see that because that's not Trump. Trump's not talking about locking anybody up. Yeah, he did that with Hillary in 2016. But when was the last time you heard Trump say he wants to lock someone up?
Look, he's
when was the last
focused
time
on,
you heard him say that he wants to sign?
He's focused on
silence
getting things
anyone?
done. Look, it is August 27th. The convention is the 10th. That's 2 weeks. Convention in Dallas is in 2 weeks. This is all going to be behind us. All this nonsense, all this hand-wringing, all this clickbait, all this doom and gloom, all this war room and Alex Jones and Mark Short and Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and this one and that one. All of it's gone. Barris, all these people. It's all gone on September 10th and 11th. And when we ship out of Dallas, this whole nonsense is going to be behind us. Straight, let me just tell people here. The Strait of Hormuz is open. Ships are getting through. They are 3 weeks from the same level as before the conflict. 3 weeks. And Iran has no presence there to do anything. They have no army. They have no navy. They have no boats. They have nothing. They can't stop anything we do. And they're getting strangled economically. And inflation is approaching the Weimar Republic. And there's no food. And there's no gas. And they're running out of water. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen here? You think this regime is going to survive? This thing is going to collapse. And then once again, Trump will have taken out a country that has been killing Americans for 50 years and nobody had the balls to do a damn thing about it but him. And he's going to be, Republicans are going to win as a result of this. And I've said this 100 times, I'm going to say it again. When gas prices are $2.25, what on earth are the Democrats going to run on in October? You tell me. Mandami? State-run grocery stores? What are they going to run on? I don't get it. Oh, we're being mean to Canada. No, Canada's mean to us. This is the fake news. Oh, Canada's an ally. John, Canada's an ally. We shouldn't be treating our allies this way. Well, then take the tariffs off our ability to export goods into Canada. Take your tariffs off. Our tariffs are just retaliation for theirs. That's all it is. We didn't start this trade war. Trump started a trade war with Canada. No, he didn't. He said it's going to be reciprocal. You go to zero, I'll go to zero. You're at 25%. Tell you what, I'll go to 50%. But this is not a friend. Look, they're playing footsie with China. Right? Hadn't been for us, there'd be no Canada. So let's just stop the nonsense here. All they got to do is get rid of their tariffs and we'll get rid of ours. That's it. That's how easy it is. You're a Canadian, you want to buy a United States vehicle, you got to pay a 25% tariff. The $40,000 car goes to $50,000. Well, you're not going to buy it. So we can't sell our cars there. We can't sell our dairy there. We can't sell our wine there. We can't sell our liquor there. We can't sell our whiskey there. We can't sell our beer there. We can't sell our lumber there because of the tariffs. So we can sell nothing, but they dump it in here for their jobs, for their people's jobs. And we say, well, let's just buy it. And then we can't reciprocate. No, this is not Canada first. This is America first. All they got to do is get rid of their tariffs. See, they don't want to do it. You know why? They're protecting their jobs like they should. Carney's doing what he should do, protecting Canada jobs. Well, guess what? Party's over. Now you're going to have to figure it out without us basically helping you run your economy. And the conservatives in Canada are a joke. It's worse than our Republicans here. There's no opposition. They have no counter narrative. They have nothing. So they let these liberals up there run amok. And we got to start getting tough. The fake news is going to lie to you about Canada, just like they're lying to you about Iran. You've still got these guys going on TV saying the strait is closed. These are Democratic officials. They get intel. They're just lying to you right through the TV. They don't care as long as they get power. Look at this fiasco that's going on that I did my TikTok on yesterday in Alaska. You got this guy, Dan J. Sullivan, tries to run as a Republican. This guy gave money. This guy was a Democrat. This guy gave money to Mary Peralta. He gave donations to Democrats. Then he registers as a Republican because he got the same name to try to confuse voters and siphon votes off of the real Daniel S. Sullivan, the incumbent Republican senator. The thing is a facade. The Democrats funded him, got him on the ballot. Then the Board of Elections in Alaska kicked him off and said, "No, you're not. We're kicking you off the ballot because your campaign is a phony. It's a fake. It's to confuse voters." Then, of course, a judge, they file 20 million lawsuits in some court, some judge somewhere, then reinstates him. And it's a jungle primary, so he's on the ballot with two other people. So people get confused. They vote for the other Sullivan instead of the real Sullivan. Maybe it's a 2%, and that helps Mary Peralta, the Democrat there. This is what the Democrats do. They fight. They got bazookas, they got guns, they got tanks, and we just want to go play nice and be, let's be nice. I want to win. You want to win, you got to get tough. No patty cake, no pillow fight. You want to win, you got to get tough. And these idiot Republicans running away from Trump, what the hell's that going to get you? Only shot that you got to win is by embracing America First, MAGA, and what Trump has done, and to get your voters out. You want to run away from them? They're going to show up, dude, and you're going to lose. That's how stupid you are. John Fredericks Media Network, Truck the Truth across America. Stay with us.
WJFN W224EB 92.7 FM Chester, W299DB 107.7 Bon Air, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJFB.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. 273 and counting. That's the death toll from the catastrophic flooding, the massive rock and mudslide. It swallowed up and swept away entire villages in Nepal along the border with Tibet.
Authorities say a glacial collapse and a massive surge of water and mud through mountain valleys, destroying roads, burying buildings, and cutting off communities. Across the border in Tibet, hundreds remain unaccounted for as helicopters and rescue teams continued searching for survivors.
Correspondent Ken Lorman says 1,300 people are unaccounted for, with many tourists, including Americans, among them. Now an international search and recovery effort is kicking into high gear, with the U.S., China, and the EU all involved. A military judge has set June 5th of 2028 as the starting date of the trial for an alleged 9/11 mastermind.
Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was captured in 2003 in Pakistan and then subjected to extreme interrogation techniques, including waterboarding. He was transferred to the U.S. naval base at Guantanamo Bay in 2006. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is accused of directing the plot to crash hijacked airliners into sites including the World Trade Center on September the 11th, 2001, in the biggest terror attack ever to take place on American soil, which killed nearly 3,000 people.
The BBC's Warren Bull says a trial had previously been scheduled back in 2021, but that was later canceled. Kids under 18 will soon see a host of changes to their Instagram and Facebook accounts thanks to a historic $18 billion settlement between Meta and 48 states. Meta agrees to take steps to keep kids under 13 off its platforms and teens in age-appropriate accounts, and to enact a hard limit of 2 hours a day for users under 18. These are among other changes to be implemented as a result of that settlement. Townhall.com.
Are you carrying more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Do you feel like you're running on a financial treadmill, making payment after payment, month after month, yet never getting ahead? If you're tired of watching your hard-earned money disappear into interest charges, there may be options available to help you take back control of your finances. At Total Financial Freedom, they'll show you what qualified consumers may be able to save through programs designed to help them resolve debt faster than making minimum payments alone. The consultation is free, confidential, and comes with absolutely no obligation. Why spend years, sometimes decades, paying thousands in interest when there may be a better path forward? Total Financial Freedom is a Christian-owned company that has helped thousands of Americans pursue financial freedom for nearly 20 years and is proudly A+ rated and accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now and ask how you can receive a complimentary copy of The Debt Dietitian. Stop running in place. Start moving toward financial freedom at 866-844-7344. 866-844-7344.
The U.S. spy chief has been on a secretive trip abroad.
CIA Director John Ratcliffe has made a rare visit to Russia. The Kremlin says he held talks in Moscow with intelligence counterparts. Spokesman Dmitry Peskov says Ratcliffe did not meet with Vladimir Putin, but says the Russian president was immediately informed of everything, though he refused to say what was discussed. The trip comes at a time of strained relations over Russia's war in Ukraine. And Moscow has a partnership with Iran, which has provided it with Shahed drones. President Trump played down the significance of Ratcliffe's visit, calling it semi-routine. I'm Ben Thomas.
Regional powers are seeking an off-ramp from the Iran war as another tanker attack is reported in the Strait of Hormuz. The UK Maritime Trade Organization says that another oil tanker has been hit by an unknown projectile in the strategic waterway. News and analysis, townhall.com. We knew her as a country music superstar, a shining presence on the big screen, and a very astute businesswoman. But there was another side of Dolly Parton, and correspondent Jason Walker tells us about it.
The Library of Congress calls Parton a titan of children's literacy for the millions of free books she provided every month through her Imagination Library. She also gave $1 million to Vanderbilt University's Medical Center to help develop Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine. She purchased an entire Nashville mall to support the surrounding black neighborhood. Some estimates say Dolly Parton gave away at least $200 million. Jason Walker reporting.
On Wall Street, the Dow futures are down 39 points, while the NASDAQ futures are up 303 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Trouble getting to sleep and staying asleep is infuriating. Your mind races, you toss and turn. Nutrition company Healthy Cell created REM sleep to help you quickly fall asleep, stay asleep, and sleep deep. Unlike other supplements that don't work, REM sleep is not a pill. It's a gel you swallow with ultra-absorption of science-backed ingredients supporting all 4 stages of sleep. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order. Risk-free. Love it or your money back. Guaranteed. Healthycell.com. Code Godzilla.
My Pillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium My Pillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got My Pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Lux Piers 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus, free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
The Trump administration has brought positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. If we really want to make America healthy again, well, that starts at home. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from the Wellness Company doctors all the time, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy, giving you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Live a healthier, longer, and more satisfying life. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use promo code Godzilla to save 10% today.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's The John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man Jack Nicholson knows can handle the truth, John Fredericks.
Oh, it's great to be back on the John Fredericks Media Network. Got some camera issues, fix that in a minute. And good to have you with us. I am your Godzilla of the Truth in America, your Oracle of the Deplorables. Having so much fun today. Thanks for joining us. As always, quick announcement. I got to keep saying this now, folks, every day. If you're not in Atlanta, I'm sorry, but we got to say it. If you are listening to us right now on AM 1690 in Atlanta, that station will no longer be carrying our programming. We are in the midst of selling it, and that will change programming on September 1st. So you be sure and download one of our apps. If you're on any of our apps in Atlanta now, those will still work. Those will be the same. You don't have to make any changes. But if you're listening to us on the radio, AM 1690 in Atlanta, September 1st, not there. It's being sold. So if you do me a favor, if you're there and you want to get our programming, download our free app. Just download our free app, and we're going to be good to go right there. And you can get it by just going to johnfredericksradioshow.com or WMLBAM1690.com. Any of those, anywhere you can get our app. You can download our TV app, JFMN.TV. You can get the same programming you know and love, but you're not going to get it on AM 1690 come September 1st. That programming is changing. at midnight. So just so everybody knows. But what you can get is one of the best cups of coffee you're ever going to have, which is my coffee, 1775. Why is it so good? Here's why, folks. It's fresh roasted daily. Nobody does this but 1775. They figured this out. Now, it comes from Bolivia, high up in the mountains, so you're going to get the best beans, and they dry roast it daily, and then you get it right to your door. Phenomenal. Hang on, I got to have my first sip of the day. Hang on. Got to get an extra one there. Damn. That's good coffee, folks. Go to 1775.com. 1775.com. This is the best coffee you're ever going to find. 1775.com. Love this coffee. And I can save you 10%. Just put in promo code Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla. I get the dark roast and the premium, but they've also got a mild. So you get what you think is the best for you, but just try it out. Because you've tried it out one time we got you. Coffee is that good. 1775coffee.com. 1775coffee.com. Let's get to the promo code Godzilla, 10% off. Save some money. It's all good. Let's get to Tim in Hopewell, Virginia. Tim, you're live.
Hey, John, how are you this morning, my brother? How are you doing?
Never better.
Hey, look, I never thought I would live to see the day that you and Karl Rove are on the same messaging. He was on a tear yesterday about the DNC. He said every Republican candidate, I don't care if you're running for dog catcher, county commissioner, U.S. senator, he said every Republican candidate needs to tie the DSA to the Democrats. Put them on the spot. Just go down the agenda and ask them, are you for this? Are you for that? Are you for giving away free housing? Are you for all these crazy, getting rid of prisons, all that crazy stuff? He was exactly on the same messaging as you, and he was on a tear. The other thing is these mail-in ballots, they've come back again. So let's see what happens with the mail-in ballots. And the other thing is, the other kind of unknown for this election, especially with Democrats, is how many illegal aliens were deported. How many votes they're actually going to lose. That's the greatest unknown, and the Democrats are scared of that.
Look, Tim, I think you made all 3 points. You nailed them all, and I appreciate your input on all of those. Let me unpack what you just said. I agree with Rove. There's every single Democrat now should be asked the question. If you get, I don't have the clips, but if you went to Debbie Dingell in Michigan, she's saying, stop asking me about Hassan Piker. Stop asking me. Stop asking me about it. And the reporters are like, no, we're going to ask you whatever we want. No, I'm not going to take any more questions on it. If you ask it, I'm not going to take your question. Okay, really? Well, why is he coming to your state? Why is he campaigning with this guy? Why did he say not enough Americans died in 9/11? Why is he saying the greatest thing that ever happened was October 7th because that inspired all of our candidates? Why is he campaigning with your candidate for senator, Debbie? No, we are going to ask you questions. Debbie, who the hell do you think you are? Debbie. No, we're going to keep asking questions. And everybody needs to ask questions. What are you for? Here's their platform. They're taking your party over. Is this what you're for? So I think he nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Let's get to the measles clip. This is going to be clip 14. Here's Josh Shapiro. Guy's lying through his teeth. Absolute lying weasel. Roll it.
The governor was in Lancaster County yesterday, came to Women's and Babies Hospital, LGH Penn Medicine Hospital, along with the Pennsylvania Department of Health and others. Commissioner Yoder was there and made an announcement that there was 2 individuals who died. I think the terminology was measles associated or something like that. Deaths, but the underlying assertion in that was that they died from measles. That certainly was what was communicated in the press. We had many inquiries from the press. There was much interest locally and nationally. and also from members of the public, our constituents. And I think it was reported that these were the first measles deaths in the U.S. in 35 years. Alice can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what was reported. So it was a big deal, and I think there is transparency owed around that. There was no information released about the two individuals other than that they were unvaccinated. And the law does allow for information to be released. It can be released without identifying the individuals, but providing some demographic background information, age, that sort of thing. So because of obviously there's a lot of interest in that. Obviously it sound like very tragic cases. I reached out to the coroner's office. Now, under the law, anyone who dies of a communicable disease in Lancaster County, that means measles in this case, that would have to be reported to the coroner's office. And I spoke at length yesterday with a senior member of the coroner's staff and spoke at length this morning with the coroner himself, and they have 0 cases of measles death. They have one patient, and the coroner spoke about this in the press, but they had one patient who died with measles, not of measles. We don't know if the state is counting that patient as one or not, and we know nothing about the other. And so I reached out to LGH Penn Medicine yesterday and again this morning. I reached out to the governor's office. I've received no responses from any of them. Brian Pasquale, our director of public safety, just talked to him. He doesn't have any information. So I think that it is totally fair when a governor comes to the county and makes an announcement such as this, and there's huge media interest, to provide some transparency around this. And I think it is also, if we were in a functioning system, you would have many journalists, rather than just sort of repeating uncritically the line that there were 2 deaths from Lancaster County, they would ask for some corroborating information. And I'm open to of course, I'm open to the idea that this did in fact happen, and perhaps someone, as the coroner has said, there's a possibility that someone contracted measles here and passed away outside the county, and it was reported to another county coroner. I think that's an unlikely probability. There's also some other unlikely possible scenarios. But if those are the cases, it's incumbent upon the people who had the press conference to relay that information. It is obviously a huge story.
Okay. So Shapiro lies. See, this is beyond a lie. This is beyond a campaign lie. This is the governor of Pennsylvania running for president. And he's fear-mongering. So he's telling people, oh, we got these deaths in Lancaster County because the people got measles, they're not vaccinated, they're dying. Well, then Lancaster County says, well, nobody died. And one person had measles. You know what that was like? That was like when hospitals were getting money. If people died from COVID, they got like $7,000. So if you died from anything and you had COVID, they put it down as a COVID death. That's why the deaths of COVID were dramatically inflated, because at the end of the day, it was the same as a very bad flu, and everybody knows it. So this guy should be held accountable. And we're going to go over this Monday again with the posse. This thing, to me, this is beyond lying on the campaign trail about something you're going to do. This is inciting public fear in order to trash the Trump administration and Bobby Kennedy. Here's Bobby Kennedy firing back. Go.
We're trying to get information about those 2 casualties. According to a statement that was released by the Lancaster County Commissioner today, they cannot find any measles deaths in Lancaster County. And they complain that the governor will not give them that information. The CDC tried to get that information from the governor yesterday, and the state is refusing to cooperate.
So the state won't cooperate because they're lying to you. They're saying people have died of measles, yet they have no record of anybody dying of measles. And yet, so what is the governor doing? The governor is inciting fear. It's like yelling fire in a movie theater and there's a stampede and somebody gets run over and it's hurt. There's no fire and there's no measles and there's no record of it. Yet he just goes on TV and lies. Do you understand these people, folks? Do you understand what we're fighting here? They will do anything to win this election. They will trash anything. They will lie to you. They will put your life at risk. They don't care. Their thirst for power, their lust for power is obscene. Absolutely horrific and obscene. So let me just be square here. You're going to have to fight fire with fire. And we can't sit back and just, tuck tail and do clickbait, do podcasts. That ain't going to do crap, okay? We're going to have to get out there every day and fight like you and I are here and get the truth to people. And I'm telling you, we are going to turn the corner because when you get Bobby Kennedy, this guy, his level of credibility with the American people is probably the highest of any cabinet secretary. The guy has never spun anything. He just gives you the facts. Basically, what he has said here is Shapiro's a lying piece of crap. He's a lying turd ball. There are no measles deaths in Lancaster County. None have been reported. One person died and had measles. He didn't die because of measles. He had measles. No different than if I stub my toe and then I get a stroke. I didn't die because of a toe stub. I died because I had a stroke. But this is what they do to manipulate information, and the gullible fake news media goes along with them because they're as accountable for this as anybody, right? 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Now, speaking of that, let's get this cut 6 here. We've got 2 Massachusetts politicians now indicted for the alleged COVID-era fraud. Of course, this is not reported in any of the news. If it was 2 Republicans, it would be headlines on CNN every 15 seconds. It would scroll across the chyron for 90 days. But of course, nobody talks about it because, well, they protect the libtards. Go ahead, 6, take a look.
Massachusetts politicians indicted in separate COVID relief fraud cases. Federal prosecutors accusing them of pocketing more than $2 million meant to help people and businesses survive the pandemic. And investigators have a warning for anyone who thinks they got away with it.
Today is a warning to all those who have conducted fraud connected to the COVID-19 pandemic. If you think that you have gotten away with it, you are wrong.
Correspondent Alexis McAdams reporting live for us from New York. Hi, Alexis.
Hi, John. So 2 prosecutors are saying that this duo of Massachusetts Democrats stole more than $2 million in COVID relief funds. This happened years ago, but the investigation continues. They say these people put taxpayer money in their own pockets. This is who we're talking about. So they're both from the same area in Massachusetts. Brian DePena there was the mayor of Lawrence, a town just outside of Boston. And then also State Representative Francisco Paulino. He's facing federal charges in 2 separate schemes here. So they're both accused of lying in order to get those COVID pandemic benefits and business loans.
Simply put, both men are accused of treating the COVID-19 pandemic as their own personal cash cows.
So Paulino was just arrested this morning. The state representative, who's been in office for nearly 3 years, John, is accused of stealing more than $700,000 in taxpayer funds. Prosecutors believe Paulino really just knew how to game the system because he used to be a tax and mortgage business owner. Prosecutors say he collected unemployment benefits for years, filed the paperwork under a 77-year-old relative's name, who investigators said had no idea this whole thing was even going on. Around the same time frame, this guy comes in. That's the mayor there, Mayor DePena there of Lawrence, who stole nearly $2 million, according to the feds, in pandemic loans, then used the cash for his political campaign, personal taxes, and his debt. He was just trying to pay it off. So earlier this month, this part's wild to me, DePena was arrested. He was dodging questions, though, outside of court. His lawyer telling reporters, stop asking it. The Dominican-born mayor doesn't speak English.
God bless you. God bless you. We're not. We're just. God bless you. Sure. Do you think? Do you want to say anything? Doesn't speak English. No comment. He's never done that. No comment. He never did that. Why? What makes you? What is your message? Well, you don't think a mayor of the city of Lawrence has enemies?
Okay, so didn't speak English. But despite that claim from the lawyer, John DePena said he does speak English, but he's just not fluent. Then his lawyer tried to drive off here, and then he hit the car in front of him. He got out and had a testy exchange with the media. But, you know, usually your lawyer is supposed to help you make things better, make you look good. And I don't know if that's what happened there in Boston. Prosecutors say this investigation for both men is far from over. If convicted on all counts, they're both could spend the rest of their life behind bars for serious fraud. John.
Yeah, well, the accused seemed pretty happy about the whole thing.
Yeah, he just said, God bless you, God bless you. So
the lawyer, not so much. All right, Alexis McAdams with the latest on that.
It's just, I mean, the fraud in this country, they just stole the money. You got now another one. I'm not going to run this clip on it. It's just not worthy of it. But you got three postal employees. There's a ring, I think, in Houston, Texas, where they stole $27 million in checks and gift cards that were being mailed to people. So, you know, they'd see the envelope with the check on it, they'd steal it. Three postal workers were recruited by two of the ringleaders. These people are all in their 20s or early 30s. And so they would fence the money and fence the checks. It was $27 million. I mean, these people are going to jail for 30 years. Like, how do you think you're going to get it? I guess during Biden, you just thought you could just steal money blind, right? Well, look at all these Samoans that stole that money. Nothing's happening to them. People figure, well, I might as well steal it too. 27 million. I mean, and that's something where you put something in the mail, you expect it to get there. I mean, this is the fraud in this country. And, you know, the Biden administration just didn't care. They didn't care. They didn't do anything. They didn't close the border. They didn't stop the fraud. They didn't do anything. I mean, I told you this story before. We got this another SBA loan for this station in Nashville. I'm getting WAKM, which should close in a week or so. And the rigors that we went through were nothing like under Biden. I mean, Biden, we didn't have to do anything. And they were telling us that SBA was abused. It was basically Biden's cronies' piggy bank. You know, now Loeffler's tightened it up. You know, we got the loan, obviously, but, you know, when we got him under Trump, you know, we had to do all this paperwork. Then we get him under Biden, we didn't have to do anything. He just got it. No pro forma, no, you know, nothing. Just, yeah, fine. Money just flowed. And, you know, didn't make a difference to us, but as we always do the right thing. But they were saying that the default level was, you know, 10%, supposed to be 1%. People just stole the money. This is, what do you think is going to happen if the Democrats get back in charge? Fraud is part of their constituency. You know, steal taxpayers' money, vote for them. Okay, what does Carl have to say? You want to put him on, or you want to say something?
Yeah, I could just, he's not on the line anymore. He made the point that a large percentage or a sizable percentage of the Lancaster population is the Amish, and they don't get vaccinated. So that if there was some sort of a measles situation, it very well could have been within the Amish community. And he says that, Carl was saying those sorts of stories come up all the time because the Amish don't get vaccinated for anything.
It's just, I mean, the lies you're going to get between the lies, the fake polls, and the fake news you're going to get between now and November. And it started here with Shapiro and Lancaster. The lies you're going to get, just deal with it. And I'm going to point them out every single day on this show right here, because it is going to be on a daily basis. And as they start to see, here's the other thing you want to brace yourself for. You know, right now, fake news, fake polls, fake everything, right? Lying, Shapiro. But we're in August, and all the fake polls have them ahead. When their internal polls start to see that they're heading south, that Trump's gaining, that MAGA's gaining, and that Trump voters are starting to get motivated, and they see the tide turning, wait until that fallout hits. They're going to go nuts. You think it's bad now? I mean, it's going to be nothing like what you're seeing at the end of September and October when they start slipping and gas prices start to fall. A lot more coming up. We got Dan Oxner coming up. We got Oxman coming up. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network. Hey, I'm having fun with you guys. Thanks for being with us. I really enjoyed it. I have so much fun here. And people say you are retired. Why would I retire when I'm having too much fun? You know why I'm having fun? Y'all. Y'all are great. I got a great audience. It's not the biggest. We don't do clickbait. But you know what? Truth and clarity lives here. When I get back, Dan Hobgood, REM sleep. He took it. You got a good night's sleep. You need to take it too. I'm going to get Dan involved when I get back on REM sleep and Healthy Cell. Change your life like it's going to change Dan's. Dan, you got to go to healthycell.com. Promo code Godzilla. 20% off. I'm not going to buy it for you.
No, I got to get it myself.
Got to buy it yourself. Got to invest in your health. I'll be right back.
Control plan already established for those who love him and trust in him. We are called to live a life of chastity according to our state in life. If you are called to a married life, being open to life according to God's plan is a great gift and probably the greatest challenge in today's modern world. It starts by selecting a spouse who puts God and family first. Then, trust in God's birth control plan, where parents are open to life and provide a sanctuary of faith for their family. Allow God, the author of life, to plan your family. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Wagering at its finest, playing at the highest levels, under the highest stakes for more than a decade. This is the world past the wire has conquered, bringing you uncompromised thoroughbred authority and elite track data that anchors the game. But the modern wagering landscape is expanding. Every sport, every line, every prop, and every high leverage future, we decode the metrics across the entire board. From game day spreads to the explosive new frontier of prediction markets and event contracts, we give you intelligence to dominate the modern financial exchanges. Because in the end, it's a battle. You versus the house. You versus the other players. In this arena, we fight with you. We are your ultimate edge. Welcome to the Ultimate Wagering Network. Subscribe to Past the Wire TV and turn on notifications, because when the dust settles,
nobody does it better.
Saturday morning, 6 on the radio, 11 on JFMN.TV.
The Trump administration has brought positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. If we really want to make America healthy again, well, that starts at home. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from the Wellness Company doctors all the time, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy, giving you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Live a healthier, longer, and more satisfying life. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use promo code Godzilla to save 10% today.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Money for the ballroom comes up for a vote. You're in Congress. Yay or nay?
Right now, I don't feel it's a priority, but the president, I mean, I think we could get a lot of
You
use
gotta
out of
vote. There's two cards, red, green. I mean, there's only
Listen,
two
I
cards.
bleed red.
Are you going to vote yes or no for the ballroom? It's a simple question. Oh,
I don't think it'll ever hit the floor or hit a. There are other
such a
things that are
political answer.
priority before the ballroom.
So you're not going to answer the question. I mean, here's the problem. You're running for Congress. People want truth and clarity. I've given you two questions. You hedged on them.
I don't think that the ballroom is a priority.
So you'd vote no.
See, this is the thing. I don't think it's a priority, but I will never go against the president. You can't.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Godzilla of the truth in America. You know, we can get rid of that clip because that young lady did not win her primary in Florida. So you can delete that one out of the system. We got Ox in the house, but let's start with my REM sleep. You know, I got home last night, Dan. We were very tired. I know that, both of us. We were up late and then, got in late. Then we're up late and we, be there early. So both of us, I slept on the plane, but and I had also, this is the first time I've ever done this, folks, traveling. I've never done this. Never. I forgot my CPAP. I don't know why I forgot it. I mean, I travel with it. I have an extra one. I just forgot it and opened up my suitcase like no CPAP. And I'm only there 2 days, so there's no sense in shipping it. And you can't buy one. So it's like, okay, well, it is what it is. So I was really tired. Anyway, I got to bed last night at 9. I put my REM sleep. I took it at 8:45. 9:05, I went to bed. I was out like a light. Got up today, 3:45, ready to go. Jumped out of bed. I got a solid, 7.5 hours? I mean, you're just ready to go. And what REM sleep does is it is the best thing that you can take. It's all natural, and it's going to put you to sleep immediately and then get you in that deep sleep. And you're going to dream, which gives your body the rejuvenation that you need. All you have to do is go to healthycell.com. And here it is right here. Go to healthycell.com, put in promo code Godzilla, and that is going to get you 20% off. And you're going to thank me later. And it doesn't take weeks or days. It takes 15 minutes. The first time you get that box, you open it up and you take that, it is going to make a difference in your life. It's about quality of life, and quality of life is quality of sleep. I gave one to Dan. He was, only got 4 hours sleep. He told me he took a 4-hour nap in the middle of the day. I'm like, okay, Dan, we need to fix this. You got to get a good night's sleep. I gave him my REM sleep. Dan, what happened?
And I got a good night's sleep. I got a very good night's sleep. So yeah, no, thanks so much. It was great.
I know, right? Good job. So you need to buy some. Just go to healthycell.com and you put in promo code Godzilla. You're going to save 20%. So get your first box. Get a couple boxes. It's not that expensive. Get your 20% off. See if it's right for you. It's right for everybody. I mean, everybody in my family takes it because you get a good night's sleep and you feel better. It's about quality of life. Doesn't matter how old you are. Sleep is the most important thing that your body can have. Sleep and water. Those are my two advice. I'm not a health guy, but my son Joe is. But get sleep, drink water, right? Got to mix it in with my coffee and Grey Goose. Is it Friday yet? Is it happy hour yet? Oh, that's at 5.
Almost.
Okay, yeah.
Almost. Now, I will say, John, I played that clip to open up because at least if she wouldn't answer your question directly, she didn't say she was going to blow up the ballroom.
It's going to blow up the ballroom.
What is that?
I mean, I think we played that clip yesterday. I think Coleman played it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I mean, these people have such Trump derangement syndrome. I was talking to a person, the person checking me in at American Airlines in Charlotte. I give them my license and they say, where are you going? And I love my city, so I'm an ambassador. I'm like, well, I'm going to the nation's cleanest, safest, most beautiful city in America, the Disneyland of the North, Washington, D.C. So she starts laughing and she says, that's what Trump is saying. Do you live there? I'm like, yeah. She says, is it true? I said, yeah, I live 2 blocks from the White House. You can't believe the renaissance that this city has gone through in 18 months. It is the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. And we love it here. And it's going to be good luck prying me out if a Republican wins. Democrat wins, it'll go back to filth and squalor. And as soon as our lease is up, we're gone. But if a Republican wins in 28, you ain't going to get me out of here. I mean, I just enjoy it. I enjoyed the walks. I enjoy the city. I enjoy the cleanliness. I enjoy the metro. You know, I'm a Caps ticket holder now. 7 minutes from 15 minutes from opening my door, me and Ann opening the door to getting in my seat behind the glass at the ice, center ice, 15 minutes, door to door. How are you going to beat that? I mean, you can't get that anywhere. You go to a Nats game. I don't, except when they play the Astros, and that's like 25 minutes. I mean, it's an unbelievable, and now it's so safe and gorgeous. And when Dan Oxner comes here, he's going to love it too. We got Ox with us. We got the Ox man. Hey, Ox, good to see you.
Always my pleasure, sir. Yes, looking forward to visiting your fair city soon.
I tell you what, since the last time you were here, every time it gets better, it gets cleaner, it gets safer, it gets more beautiful. And wait till you come in and you just walk around. The fountains have all been redone. The fountains all work, especially in the summer. It's gorgeous. Now they fixed the reflecting pond. That's beautiful. So you need to come and check us out. So final verdict, Dallas, yes or no?
No. I canceled my hotel reservations.
Well, I'm bummed.
I know. I apologize. I'm sad to miss it. We have a conflict, though, in Minnesota, John, and I think you'll find it worthy. They have been working on a massive, brand new military veterans museum up by our big Camp Ripley in the center part of the state. It's been a 20-year project. It is going to be probably the best military museum ever. And we're doing a live broadcast 2 days before it opens on Wednesday. And that'll be the same day that I'd be in Dallas. And we've been following this for 10 years. Promised them, they promised me, hey, we'll invite you, for a pre-show and all that. And so doing it. I can't wait. The whole world's going to be talking about this military museum. Grand opening officially on September 12th, but we're doing a show there. I think it's the 9th on Wednesday. So I do have a conflict.
Oh, well, good for you, Ox. I think that's
great.
That's a very noble thing for you to do, and I know your Minnesota audience will enjoy it, no doubt. Let's get to your U.S. Senate race, and let's get to Michelle Tafoya. I've got a sneaking suspicion. She is going to make this race competitive. I've seen her videos and I've seen her ads, and they're really good. And she's running against Peggy Flanagan, who's a crackpot communist libtard. And I know you're very, left wing there, but I think does Tafoya have a shot here?
More than that, yeah. The race is competitive. I mean, she's not going to make the race competitive. It is. Make no mistake about it. I put odds. I hate to make a prediction because all my political predictions are always wrong. We've established that over the years. So I don't predict anymore. But I'm telling you, it's more than giving the Democrats a run for their money. Michelle's a great candidate. And let's hope and Lisa Damath, the gubernatorial candidate, those two kind of working hand in hand. We've got a really good team blanketing the state right now, and I have high hopes. I hope it's not just a pipe dream, but Michelle Tafoya is appealing to so many people. She's so dang genuine and sincere. When you're around her, you feel good, and the things that she says and the stuff that she's talking about is spot on for the average Minnesotan. Suburban moms, right? The holy grail of elections. She's got them. So this is
tell us about her family.
She's got a great husband. She had multiple miscarriages. She's fostered, and she doesn't wear it on her sleeve at all. You got to kind of get it out of her. She doesn't lead with that as she comes forward. And, some of the ultra right social conservatives criticize her for not being hardcore pro-life. and that's fine. She's just been a normal person. She hasn't been deep in the trenches of politics. So maybe she doesn't fully, think she knows how she feels about it, but she might, end up morphing into more of a solidly pro-life person. But she's very pro-life, certainly later on during the pregnancy. She's not an abortion at, all the way up to birth person, not even close. She would be considered, what would it be, like 95% perfectly pro-life.
Right.
But her story of trying to have children, miscarriages and everything, she's got a lot of personal involvement there. Plus, again, if she's running for governor, well, now we have talks about statewide laws and we can have that discussion. But she's running for U.S. Senate. That's really kind of been taken care of on the federal level. So let's talk about other things. And she really connects.
Is she running away from Trump or part of the MAGA coalition?
Haven't seen either way. Yep, I think she's playing it well. She's not running away from it at all, nor is Lisa Namath. Not necessarily running towards it either. Not being an apologist. Really solid campaigning.
Well, it sounds like you guys have a shot there.
We have a shot.
If she wins, it would be incredible. But, all those years being on the sidelines, I mean, you and I both know this. The training you get in media really puts you way above other politicians that just don't have that. And it's very different when you're in media like Dan and I are and you're on TV all the time than when you're just on TV as a politician. It's very different. And so there's a comfort level there and a way to connect with your audience that a lot of other politicians really can't establish that to the extent that she can, because, and her audience was a football audience. I mean, it was a conservative football. That's who watches football. It's not the, crackpot libtards. It's conservatives. That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers told me when they gave me their network nationally. They're like, yeah, you do conservative talk. Newsflash, like that's our audience. That's who goes to Steelers games. Like 80% of them are voting for Trump. So she understands the audience she has to appeal to, and she's got to be effective in that.
Yeah, and the other thing is, though, John, that is a lot of the audience, but it really is a mixed audience too, the rest of it. So it's not just hyper-focused on the conservatives. And I think that's how she's able to reach across the aisle. And if there's an independent vote, for instance, in Minnesota, which I always question the independent vote in Minnesota, but if there is one and they turn out, they're going to vote for Tafoya because Flanagan is all the way the other side. She does not represent mainstream Minnesotans at all. But again, we'll have to see who goes out and votes, who's motivated. Donald Trump reminding people, pretend I'm on the ballot, go out and vote. And we had, I think it was, I didn't run the numbers. I'm hearing this secondhand, but some of my political analyst friends, 200,000, we don't register as Republicans, but 200,000 identified Republicans in the last election did not go out to vote. That happens, Republicans win. So hopefully people can understand that and get off their duffs and go out and vote. One of the weirdest things about people talking about not voting, John, and you and I have talked about this, it is such an easy thing to do. Next time you're, changing your cable subscription, maybe talking to the cellular phone company about your bill, whatever it is, you're on hold, you're making airline reservations, whatever you do like that on a daily basis takes longer than it does to take to vote. Like, I don't have time to vote. You've got time to do all this other minutia in your life for almost nothing. How easy is it to vote? Seems odd to me that people don't vote.
Ox, speaking the truth right here, you got to vote. If you don't vote, you're going to be eating out of a garbage can. That's what can happen.
I was thinking about this too. In greater Minnesota, I was thinking about this for some reason this morning when I got up. I don't remember why. You got people driving around with their pickup trucks with, don't take my guns out of my dead hands, whatever. They got the American flag flying, they're doing all this stuff. And it's like, well, I'm doing my part. Yeah, I might get out and vote, but I'm doing my part. It's like, whoa. You can have all the pickup trucks and, don't tread on me and American flag flying, all that stuff too. But if you don't go out and vote, what you're doing is useless, pointless.
So true. You got to vote. We got to get our base motivated to vote. It's going to come down to, this is a base election. This is a base election. We get our base out. We're gonna keep the House, and I think actually pick up a seat in the Senate. We could pick 2 seats up in the Senate. Forget the fake polls. Somebody shared a real poll with me, an internal poll the other day, and Sununu is ahead in New Hampshire. Sununu can win that seat. So that's a huge pickup that nobody saw coming. So we got a lot of opportunities here, Dan. We just got to take advantage of it and get out and vote. We're going to be good to go. I'm going to get to cut 12. I want to get your thoughts here. This is AG Todd Blanche slamming Philadelphia's district attorney, total libtard, Larry Krasner, for calling for the White House ballroom to be blown up. If you or I said that, the FBI would be at your door. He says it, and he's all over the news, being congratulated by the communists. Unbelievable. Roll it.
The Philadelphia district attorney, Larry Krasner, he was talking about the ballroom, the President Trump's ballroom. In a press conference yesterday, the headline said, Philadelphia district attorney says, we're going to blow it up when discussing Trump's White House ballroom. Obviously, I hope he was speaking metaphorically. When do you think that this will get resolved so that the ballroom can be built?
Well, the ballroom is being built, and it's disgusting that a district attorney in Philadelphia, who, by the way, has a city with its own problems, is so focused on what the president is doing at the White House. And by the way, and so that's something we're continuing to litigate. The ballroom is being built; it's not stopped, and the Supreme Court issued the stay, which allows us to continue to do the work. And this isn't just about a safe, secure place for the president and his family and world leaders. It's also a national security issue, which we've been talking about now for months and months and months. And the fact that you even have a local district attorney, instead of focusing on his own city's problems, his own city's crimes, talk about, quote, blowing it up, is reflective of how divisive and unfortunate the Democrats have made this issue. But yes, we're going to continue to build the ballroom. President Trump has promised that to the American people, and we're going to continue to back him up in court to make sure that it can get built.
He's going to blow it up. I mean, what planet do these people live on? Dan, this is why I think we're going to win the midterms. Maybe I'm the only guy in media that is still saying that. Because even my friends that are optimists that I talk to privately are telling me we're not going to keep the House. Every single one of them. Everyone. Good people. Except for Tom Emmer. Tom Emmer and I.
Right.
We believe we're going to win the House.
Right.
The people are not going to vote for this. They are not going to. Trump showed it in South Carolina, much to my chagrin. I was on the other side. I was gangbusters all in for Ralph Norman. Trump went there and kicked our ass, beat us by 20,000 votes. I mean, he got out. He was getting out people that hadn't voted except in presidential elections in a obscure 4-time primary with voter fatigue in the middle of the summer. He got him out. Comment.
Yeah, the numbers are staggering. What is it? 90-some% of his endorsed candidates of late, right, are winning in the primaries. He's still the man for sure. The South Carolina thing, that's a little bit, you've got the heritage Graham thing going on there and whatever. But yeah, you got to give him credit. The ballroom, the helipad, all that stuff that's going on. All these years, we haven't had this stuff. We've been squishing on the grass, walking out to Marine One and getting on the helicopter, landing in the yard and having tents put up for heads of state to come. And it seems like all this stuff should have been built 50 years ago. Like, why? And it's controversial. Like, even if, I hate to say this and, Ox, you're a rhino, maybe, but even if it wasn't privately funded, I mean, don't we need a ballroom? And if it can double as a bunker underneath, then what are they doing landing on the grass and putting up tents?
You know how many times I've been in those tents? They're hard. This is the most powerful office in the globe. Yeah. And you have an event and you got tents up. I mean, you got to be kidding me.
Weird.
It's just ridiculous, and it's not safe. And the guy, we got another guy, trying to go to Albany, some jihadists trying to blow up the state senate in Albany. I mean, you got jihadists out there that they're trying to assassinate him. Another guy was at his place in Vegas scoping it out. The FBI got him. He had guns and ammo in his car. I mean, people are trying to assassinate the guy, and you're upset about a ballroom. Like, who cares? We got so many other things to be upset about. That certainly isn't it, Dan. So I agree with you on that. But look, if you or I had done this, both of us would be, they'd be knocking at our door. Let's go to cut 13. And again, AG Blanche says they want to make sure that every vote in this country is counted appropriately, but they want the vote to be real. Roll it, go.
Yes, just like we've been ready. And this is what President Trump, this is what the American people expect President Trump and expect this country to be doing when it comes to election integrity and making sure that we are extraordinarily vigilant about who is voting and that they're eligible to vote. It is surprising and disappointing that instead of working with us, instead of working to make sure that we have free and fair elections, you have governors like the governor in California, you have these advocacy groups that are really just left-wing liberal groups that are immediately saying, oh no, we're gonna sue again. Notwithstanding the fact the Supreme Court has already issued its stay, and yes, we will keep on fighting that. We want to make sure that every vote in this country is counted appropriately, and that's what President Trump has told the American people is going to do, and we're certainly going to back him up with that from the Department of Justice.
I mean, look at what the post office did, right? So they have this ruling, and they're like, well, we're not going to send the ballot out in the mail. If we can't be sure that the people that we're mailing it to are actual, legitimate voters and they're U.S. citizens and they follow the rules. And so you got to give your list over the DOJ, and the states say, no, we're not going to do that because, define an eligible voter. Anybody that votes for the Democrats is an eligible voter. So then, but now the Supreme Court ruled, but now there's going to be another ruling. What do you see there? Are they going to cave?
No. I really just don't think there's an appetite for sending out mass ballots to people who may or may not exist. Not sure there's an appetite for sending out mass ballots, period. I don't know where this is coming from. All of a sudden, they're trying to tell us that this is mainstream. It's not. No question about it. And if I can segue into our good friend Mike Lindell, trying to get the recount in Minnesota. Have you heard the latest on that? I mean, he missed the deadline and he was withholding his payment because he said, no, I want the whole thing recounted. And they were, no, we're just going to count the two top vote getters. We're going to recount yours and Damon's votes. He goes, no, I want the whole thing recounted. This would have been a way for the Minnesota Secretary of State to put to bed once and for all whether or not these machines are fraudulent. If they so believe it, if they're that convicted, they could have just stuck this one and said, Lindell, you've been wrong this whole time, haha. But instead they're like, oh no, we're only going to count the top two votes. That's all we're going to do. Lindell would have paid for whatever it would have cost. So, I mean, they don't want this issue to die either. And it just popped into my head yesterday, John, and you're way ahead of me on this. The cash registers ring on both sides in Washington, D.C. As long as there might not be voter fraud things going on. They don't actually want to solve it conclusively.
The election is going to hinge on what Amy Coney Barrett and John Roberts do in the final analysis. And if they stick to their guns and it's 6-3 and these ballots don't get mailed out without them being cleaned up, the Republicans are going to win because the Democrats cannot win without cheating on these mail-out ballots. We both know that.
I hate to make a political prediction, as we've established, but in this case, I'm going 6-3.
Our way.
Yeah.
Damn, I hope you're right. I don't think Coney Barrett could. She's going to do whatever Roberts does. So it really isn't about her. She can't make a decision on her own. She's part of the Roberts cartel. So whatever John Roberts does, she's going to do. That's why they basically, these two people control the U.S. government now. Two people. Unbelievable. Dan, thanks for being with us. People want to follow you, Ox. Where do they go?
At Hot Talk with Ox or KNSIRadio.com.
Oxman. I'm going to miss you in Dallas, but I understand why you're not going to be there. But come to D.C. We'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon.
We'll do a duet in Tom Emmer's office.
Yep, let's do it. Make it happen.
All right. We'll get Sally involved. It'll be good.
I'll make some calls.
This time you buy dinner.
Yep, dinner's on me.
You got it.
Oh, yeah.
Joe's, baby. Let's go. All right, Ox. We'll be right back.
We heard from the People's Liberation Army and the Air Force. They did manage to get an aircraft in the air to try to survey the area, but it does seem that even getting near the affected region is extremely difficult at this time. Not only are they dealing with high altitude, but they're dealing with the aftermath of this disaster, which seems to have blocked all roads, and still communications are blocked.
The BBC's Laura Bicker reporting on the Chinese response. The death toll, at least 273. A homecoming soon for some American service members. They've been at sea for quite a while.
The USS Abraham Lincoln originally deployed last November from San Diego, and it arrived in the Middle East in January. There it supported the U.S. war against Iran. Now it's finally on its way back home after more than 250 days at sea. The record deployment raised concerns amid reports of deteriorating mental health among the crew and supply shortages. But Thailand's defense ministry says the Lincoln and its crew will get a break next week on their way back home, making a stop in Thailand for some rest and recovery. I'm Ben Thomas.
Another tanker has been hit with some sort of projectile in the Strait of Hormuz, that according to the UK Maritime Trade Organization. On Wall Street, Dow futures down 33 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Christian Healthcare Ministries is not another health insurance policy. If you're tired of year-long contracts and pointless restrictions, CHM offers anytime enrollment on your schedule and at your convenience. With CHM, you're paying half the cost of a traditional health insurance plan. So that puts more money back into your budget for everyday needs. Plus, you'll have access to CHM's care solutions for virtual appointments, prescription savings, surgery support, and more. My family and I joined in 2018, and it's changed our lives for the better. We love paying way less while helping other believers afford their medical bills. Take the leap of faith and see why Christians across the nation are better with CHM.
Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
A candidate with the same name as the incumbent advances in the Alaska Senate GOP primary.
Dan J. Sullivan has advanced from Alaska's U.S. Senate primary. Sullivan goes by Dan Sullivan, the same name as the Republican incumbent. He was one of 4 top vote getters after the state's August 18th primary election and advanced on Tuesday. The incumbent and Democrat Mayor Peltola had advanced earlier. Dan J. Sullivan, a retired teacher from the small island community of Petersburg, successfully sued for a spot on the ballot. A top state elections official had said he filed his candidacy with an intent to confuse voters, but a judge invalidated that decision. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Canadian military spending is surging, with companies expanding into defense contracting. Wuxley, known for luxury parkas, now making high-tech military gear. The Canadian government is investing billions to reduce reliance on American suppliers, the shift partly due to pressure from the U.S. to contribute more to NATO. News and analysis, townhall.com. The NFL is ending the Pro Bowl game.
And if you're going to play a football game in January, well, you might as well play it in Honolulu.
The league announced Wednesday they will no longer hold the game with top players from the AFC and NFC that has been held nearly every year since 1951. Instead, 88 players will be named as Pro Bowlers to be recognized in Los Angeles after the season. At the owners' meeting in Atlanta, NFL Executive Vice President Peter O'Reilly described it as a shift from the game to the honor, saying a Pro Bowl selection will return to its original purpose, honoring the best of the best. The game has waned in popularity. League officials say the decision should sit well with many players who said they don't want to risk injury for an exhibition game. I'm Jennifer King.
Strong demand for NVIDIA's high-end AI chips, sending the company's bottom line soaring. Company reports net income topping $59.5 billion. That's the latest quarterly result. More on these stories, townhall.com.
The Trump administration has brought positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. If we really want to make America healthy again, well, that starts at home. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from the Wellness Company doctors all the time, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy, giving you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits. Additionally, the wellness company offers a variety of products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Live a healthier, longer, and more satisfying life. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use promo code Godzilla to save 10% today.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted. Godzilla for 20% off.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Godzilla Wins, where you get the best insight and best information on how to win the most money ever.
Guess what? GodzillaWins.com. Let's talk more winners.
You heard the man, and click the website for the dough. GodzillaWins.com.
GodzillaWins.com. Let's talk more winners.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who always says to lace them up and lace them tight, John Fredericks.
Okay, well, good to have you with us. We were supposed to have Rob Carson. He is not here right now, but so we're going to open the phone lines, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Hey, we got some announcements to make. If you're listening to me right now in Atlanta on the radio station, AM 1690, not on the app is fine, not on the internet, not on Listen Live, that's fine. If you're on the terrestrial radio station, on your dial, AM 1690, make note, our programming will no longer be on that station as of September 1st at midnight. So we will not be there. So if you like our network, if you like all of our shows, if you like listening to me in the morning, you're going to have to switch to the app. And you can get that by going to johnfredericksradio.com, johnfredericksradio.com. You can get our app right there. You get the same programming you're getting now. If you want the TV app, App Store, Google Play, just go to jfmn.tv, jfmn.tv. We have an audio app, we have a TV app, whatever suits you. All the options are there. But come September 1st, that station, WMLB AM 1690, that is in the process of being sold. We are selling it to another company, and they will take the programming over while the sale percolates its way through the FCC starting on September 1st. That is a done deal. That is going to happen. So if it's September 1st and you tune in 1690, you're not getting our network. You're going to get something else, and I doubt you're going to like it. So I really don't get involved with other people's programming but ours is better. So it is what it is. So just kind of be prepared for that. Don't wait till the last minute. Go ahead and get that app now. It'll take you 20 seconds, and then you're good to go. And so thanks for being with us. 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. And that is an announcement to make. Now we're going to be in Dallas. Got a couple of travel plans. We'll be in Nashville all next week, Monday through Thursday. Friday, filling in for me, Phil Klein will be filling in for me on Friday as we get ready for the weekend. But we will be in Nashville all next week as we anticipate closing on another radio station there. And obviously there's a lot going on, so I have to be there. But I'll be there all week in Nashville starting, I think we get there Sunday. So I'll be there all week. And we're on Central Time, so I got to be on there at 5, 6 to you, obviously. So that's going to be fun. Got to get up even earlier, whatever. It's all good. And then the week after that, we're going right to Dallas. So we got lots going on. A couple of other announcements. We got a lot going on here. We will start our Godzilla Wins Daily. We have Godzilla Wins on Saturday, 9 to 11. Godzilla Wins Daily will run 2 times per week. Thursday night before the first Thursday night football game, and Monday nights, and that'll be 4:30 to 5 Eastern across the network. So 30 minutes we'll cut into Michael Patrick Leahy on those 2 days, that show, and we'll be giving you our football picks and our analysis for that week coming up. Godzilla Wins Daily, as the company is evolving into a true News Talk Sports network. So, but everything is still there, and all our programming during the week, none of that changes. I hope you like our show at 6 to 7 p.m. Game On Sports America, which I never miss. I think Frank and Sarah do a super job, and they cover Monday to Wednesday. They cover the news. They cover it with a conservative bent, which you don't really get on ESPN. So that's kind of great. I really enjoyed that show, and I think they're doing a super job. Now on Thursdays, I get to come on, and we do college football picks, which so far so good. I did pretty good in college football last season. Did great in hockey, baseball. I'm doing okay, but I've taken a couple of days off. It's a grind. I mean, baseball's a grind, so I'm going to wait till probably another couple of days. I'll get back on it on Friday, but it's all good. You can go to GodzillaWins.com. Godzilla Wins Daily, 4:30 to 5. That starts on the Thursday before the first week in football. So actually, I think that's the Thursday that we're in Dallas. I think is the first day it's going to start there. So because football's starting that weekend, as I'm going to the opening of the Titans game, Dan. I think they're playing the Jets. I got tickets for that, and Ann and I going there right from Dallas. So go to the Jets, go to the Titans game on Sunday. I guess it would be 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th or something. But yeah, football's right around the corner. 888-480-JOHN. You want to weigh in? 888-480-5646. Those are our announcements. AM 1690, download our app. That is gone on September 1st. I want to get to one of these guys that I'm really starting to like in Congress, which is Republican Representative Jimenez, who's talking about Cuba and basically saying, look, we got to get our act together. And he said Cuba is going to be next. Let's get to Jimenez cut 8, saying that I want to see regime change in Cuba. Finally, somebody's saying it and having the gumption to put it out there. Cut 8, Representative Jimenez.
Before I let you go, I do want to ask about a New York Times report that earlier this month, Trump administration's CIA formed a secret task force to work towards overthrowing the current regime in Cuba. As I don't need to tell you, the U.S. tried and failed to overthrow the Cuban regime back in 1961, the Bay of Pigs.
Wow.
Do you think that it is time for another covert attempt at regime change? You, as somebody who represents a lot of Cuban Americans, and you're a Cuban refugee yourself.
Do I think a covert action? I think right now what the policy is trying to starve them, just like the same policy that we're trying to do with Iran. We're trying to do to Cuba economically, put the squeeze on Cuba. eventually what I think we need to do is leave all options on the table. Would I want to see regime change? Absolutely do I want to see regime change in Cuba. It's a national security threat to the United States, and the people of Cuba have suffered long enough under this communist dictatorship that hasn't had a free election in over 60 years. And so, yeah, I think that the only solution at the end will be regime change. By the way, I think the only solution at the end with Iran is regime change, too, but that's going to take a little bit longer.
Congressman Carlos Jimenez, thank you so much for being here. On the other issue that is causing economic pain, the president even admits it, is the Iran war. It started 6 months ago, and I know you've emphasized that it's a conflict that won't last long. But what makes you think that, given where we are right now, and also the reality I'm just putting on the screen, is that 8 in 10 Americans, this is a Reuters Ipsos poll, says Americans think that it's going to go on for an extended period of time. They're not optimistic that it's going to end soon, and that certainly would mean that their prices aren't going to come down anytime soon, especially on energy and gas.
Well, the gas prices are coming down because once we effectively control the Straits of Hormuz, which we are effectively controlling the Straits of Hormuz, you're seeing more and more of those ships passing through the Straits.
You think that the U.S. is effectively controlling the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, I do. Actually, we're controlling it more and more every single day. Absolutely. You're seeing gas prices and oil prices coming down. And that's what we need to do with Iran. Strangle them economically, which is, economic D-Day, is fine with me. I think that's a very good strategy. Kinetically hit them every once in a while when you see they're trying to regain their capacity to build rockets and drones. And anytime that they try to renew their nuclear program, remember what we're trying to do here. We're trying to protect the Middle East. We're trying to protect ourselves and the world from a nuclear-armed Iran. That comes at a price. It's not going to be free. And so, yeah, we need to do that. But the good thing is that, yeah, I think we are controlling every day. We control more and more of that strait. Every day we see more and more ships going through. We just got indication that all the mines have been cleared, and more ships are going to pass through. Every day it should get better. Is it going to be painless? No. But remember, we're trying to keep Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
Republicans are trying to craft an economic message that can win this November. And President Trump this morning was asked how the GOP could relate to people feeling the affordability crunch.
I inherited affordability. I inherited high prices. I'll put it a different way. And we've really gotten them down. Now we have a little bit of an oil. Don't forget, when I did this, people thought the oil would go to $10 a gallon. You know that. And they said, but we had to do it. We had to stop them from having a nuclear weapon, and we did. And the prices are coming down very rapidly.
Joining me now is Florida Congressman Carlos Jimenez, who's running for re-election in South Florida. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Is that an economic message you think you and other Republicans, perhaps in more vulnerable political situations, can win on?
Yeah, I think we can. I think we need to remind people exactly how we got into this situation. You recall, during the Biden administration, we had inflation up to 9% and higher. Gas prices were over $5 a gallon. And so the mess was created by the Democrats. It's really funny. The Democrats, you always got to listen to what they're saying, because what they're saying is what they're doing. And so unaffordability was really created by the Democrats. And if you're going to go back to 9% inflation, and the gas prices to go over $5 a gallon, because remember, they want to do the Green New Deal. They want to really hamper our oil and gas industry so that energy costs skyrocket. Then they want to do out-of-control spending like they did when they were in power. And so all of that, we got to remind people about that, and that we're not about that.
I just need to get in there because certainly the affordability crisis in 2024 was a big part of the reason President Trump won. But I don't need to remind you that since he has been in office, the economic troubles, never mind sort of the way that it looks on the statistics charts, but how people feel is not great. And part of the reason is the president's policy on tariffs, and also the president's policy in the war in Iran. So I understand that it's politically sort of, I guess, the imperative of Republicans to go back to the Biden administration, but he's been in office for almost 2 years.
No, I recall. Look, I recall after Carter. I'm old enough to remember that the disaster that President Carter was. It took a little while for Reagan to turn this country around.
Positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. If we really want to make America healthy again, well, that starts at home. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from the Wellness Company doctors all the time, and you know their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy, giving you the opportunity to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their prescription medical kits. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products, from parasite cleanses to methylene blue to weight loss and so much more. Make America healthy again starts at home. Do your part and protect the health of you and your family. Live a healthier, longer, and more satisfying life. Go to twc.health/Godzilla and order. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Use promo code Godzilla to save 10% today.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning on the John Fredericks Radio Network. The Flatline describes a main line of resistance in your soul, built on God's Word. Join us every Sunday morning for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. on the John Fredericks Radio Network.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted. Zilla for 20% off.
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
Great to have you back. Thank you. It's just great to have a representative. Even though we're just playing the clips, it's just great to have a representative who can just tell it like it is. Like, I want regime change in Cuba. Like, just say it. Like, why are we afraid to say it? We want that. We want the communist government out. We want a pro-U.S. government in there, and we want to free the people. What is wrong with saying that? I mean, part of the problem that we have is fear. Republicans have fear. They're afraid of everything. They're afraid of their own shadow. They're afraid of everything. When you play with fear, you lose. You can never win. You have to be bold. This is what President Trump taught everybody. Be bold. Have convictions. Say what you mean. Do what you say. Say what you're going to do and do it. And don't back off. And don't operate out of fear and apprehension. You do that, you're going to lose. And this is why we're frustrated with so many Republicans, especially in my party here in D.C., which is a joke. Doesn't even exist. By the way, I put a press release out the other day. We're going to be talking about it on D.C. Dispatch, calling for 10,000 seats in this stadium in D.C. to be reserved for families at $15 a ticket, so you could bring your 2 or 3 kids to a Redskins game or whatever they call them, Commanders. And so this thing is, you're paying $1 billion of taxpayer money and you're locked out because of, license fees and corporate suites and all the big money. And, it costs you $1,000 to go to a game. No, nobody's got that kind of money here in these wards. And we're sick of that. We're going to be talking about that at 9. Plus taking your calls, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. You want to weigh in. But we need boldness. We need clarity. We need truth and clarity. If half the Republicans could do what I did, what I do every day, not did what I do every day, you're going to win. Just truth and clarity. Like Tom Emmer, just be bold. Just be bold. And if you can do that, you're going to be successful. Even with these data centers. I mean, everybody's now scared of the data centers. They're all running away from data centers. I mean, we need data centers. This is why I love my business in West Virginia. I got every delegate and senator there saying, hey, bring them on. We got plenty of room here. Pay for your own power, pay for your water. Let's go. Plenty of room. We need them. We can be the data center capital of the earth in West Virginia. You got other people running away, moratoriums and this and that. If the local community doesn't want it, they don't want it. Leave it up to them. But this idea that, you can't run away. Running away never solves anything. Confront it like West Virginia does. We want it. And here's our plan. And if you want to come here, here's what you're going to have to do. Pay for the electricity so we're not raising rates on our community and pay for the water. Because there's a cost to that too. Just like you at your house, you get a water bill. You got to pay for the water. You do that, we're good. We'll get the tax dollars. Everybody get lower property taxes. Everybody get more money in their pocket. We win. And America wins. Makes sense, right? 888-480-JOHN. That's our position here. I don't want data centers shoved down a community's throat. I want the community involved, and you leave it up to the local council and the local supervisors with the input of their constituents, whether or not they want it. And if they don't want it, they don't want it. And you go somewhere else where they do want it, like West Virginia. All right, let's get to Steeler Bud in Canton, Georgia. Steeler Bud, you're live.
Hey, John, you are right. Fear is a liar. It activates the enemy. And the enemy has been activated for quite some time. And unfortunately, part of the enemy is a lot of our own people, and I'll explain to you why. I'll make quick comment about the data centers, and then I want to talk about the election real quick. You know, we need data centers for quantum AI. If China controls it, we're done. End of story. That's all it is. People should, the government should let people know about that and explain it. There's one individual who's an expert in it who can explain it, but nobody wants to watch him because they think he's a grifter. But anyway, let's go back to 2020. In Georgia in 2020, there was a team on the ground who collected all the evidence. They had videos, they had documents, they had videos of ballots being burned behind senators' houses. They had the ballots. They had everything. And what happened? You know, the FBI came down and took all that evidence at the advice of one of the people on our side. So why did that happen? And then what happened 2 years later? We lost 2 Senate seats. You were totally 100% right about the ballots, and I was totally 90% wrong about the machines. There's no doubt. And once I found out the actual real evidence that anybody could get, but for some reason Republicans don't want to get it, and that's the play. The play is they want to keep going around the country telling you it's the machines, it's the machines. Mike Lindell doesn't need to do an audit, because back in 2020, when all this information came out, and the podcasters and clickbaiters who thought they knew the evidence didn't have a clue, and that cost us a presidential election and many senators. You know, we have the evidence. The evidence has been proved. And isn't it funny that the one man, the one person who can physically show us the evidence is shunned by all the 99% of these so-called election integrity people who are supposed to be on our side. And none of them will have him on their shows. None of them will let him present the evidence. None of them want to know, because if America really sees how they're still cheating by load balancing, they would be pissed. You know, John, you should get this guy on your show. He can tell you about data centers. He can tell you about plot cameras. He can tell you about, what really happened in the election. But what scares me is they're still cheating in a way that Republicans either don't understand, which I believe that's totally true, or they don't want to understand. And it's almost like they're actually against us. Not like the Steve Stearns of the world. You know, he's trying to do it all. He's trying to get it done. And every Republican office should have his plan in there. And why we don't is because of our GOP leaders. But, people need to look at the evidence. It's there. But why won't Republicans share it?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't believe that I've seen no evidence that machines change votes. So I just, on that one, we're never going to agree until somebody can show me evidence. All I have is clickbait hearsay. I have no evidence. That's all. I'm not disputing it. I haven't seen one shred of credible evidence that says I voted for Trump and my vote got switched to Biden. There's no evidence of that I've seen. It's all circumstantial. What the evidence I have seen is fake ballots. That's where they cheat. Fake ballots, mail-in ballots, harvest ballots, ballots in empty lots, ballots in Starbucks, ballots all over the place. Ballots, boxes, and maps. That's where they cheat. So I want to fix that, but that's really what the issue is. And if this postal ruling goes through, and I had a caller that flagged this 3 months ago. I forget who it is, but thank you for calling up. And he followed up on it, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who. But I had a caller that flagged this months ago and said, hey, get on this postal train. Because if the Supreme Court upholds this, they're done. They're done. A huge part of the Democrats' plan is these fake mail-out ballots that they just mail to everybody. And if this is upheld 6-3 by Amy Phony Barrett, they're done. Because that's how they're winning, dude. Fake ballots in the mail. And if they're going to turn those voter rolls over and they got to get screened and they got to get, you not a citizen, you can't vote, you can't get it mailed to an empty lot, they're going to get their ass kicked. And they know it. That's why they're going crazy over it. Otherwise, they wouldn't care. John Fredericks Media Network. Your calls when I get back. 888-480-JOHN.
Go now at colonialdowns.com.
The John Fredericks Radio Network is your exclusive outlet for the NFL's Pittsburgh Steelers. After making major moves in the offseason, this could be the breakthrough year. You can hear all of the in-game action, plus pre-game and post-game coverage live right here all season long. Coverage starts September 13, hosting the Falcons. Hit johnfredericksradio.com/sports for game times. Get the complete schedule for Pittsburgh Steelers football at johnfredericksradio.com/sports, part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are a $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Luxpear 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cell's Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at colonialdowns.com.
That's how I feel. Damn sick and tired of getting out rebounded. 25 offensive rebounds. First time we block out, we get called for a damn block out. We're pushing people. Meanwhile, they're on the other court grabbing rebounds, going over the top and grabbing them. We get one offensive rebound, the other get called for over the back. We don't block out very damn well, and we're not getting called, one or the other. That's where I'm frustrated. That's where my whole frustration comes in, offensive rebounds. The entire thing came down to offensive rebound. They got every stinking offensive rebound, and we didn't get one of them. What else do you want to know?
Don't touch that dial. You found your home of the truth.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
With the best analysis in America.
You can't handle the truth.
And now back to the John Fredericks Show.
You're on the John Fredericks Media Network, and I am your Godzilla of the truth in America, your oracle of the deplorables. Thanks for being with us. Don't forget to go to Godzilla Wins every day. Get your picks there. Got football coming up. We're going to be red hot tonight. Game on America Sports. Well, I'm going to be there too. That's 6 to 7 p.m. Giving you we're going to be analyzing the SEC plus the opening games. Week 0 coming up. I know Dan's fired up. We're all fired up. Meantime, Colonial Downs, you got 3 more weeks of racing, right? This week, next week, and then it ends on the 7th. So if you've not been to Colonial Downs this year, now is your opportunity, because the thunder at Colonial Downs Raceway is amazing. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination. This is every Thursday through Sunday, all right through September 7th. And when you bring the whole family, bring them on Sunday, because Family Fun Sundays has got great activities for all ages. Parking is free. General admission is free. Memories, well, they're priceless. You want to make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. And Ann and I go there. We're going to be there again this weekend. It's so much fun. Now, you can get tickets and race day info at colonialdowns.com. That's colonialdowns.com. Just go to colonialdowns.com. Racing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're in New Kent, just 20 minutes east of Richmond, about an hour and 10 minutes or so west of Virginia Beach. So 1 hour from Norfolk, maybe under 45 minutes. It's a really great place to get to. DC, 2 hours. Check it out. Racing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. So Thursday to Sunday, post time, 12:30 p.m., and you're good to go. Well, guess who guess what the cat just drug in? Ryan Hammett in the house. Ryan, good to have you here. Ryan's I can't call them ratbirds. I promise I wouldn't do it. I promise Dan, I promise Ryan, I would not call the Ravens or ratbirds again. I promised them that. And I'm a man of my word. So I'm not going to do it.
Doesn't preclude me from doing it, though.
No, you didn't make that promise.
I made no promises. But Ryan, I like Ryan, so I will refrain from irritating Ryan.
Ryan's hard not to like.
He's a likable guy.
He's just hard not to like. I mean, what's not to like? He does a good job.
Call them the Ratbirds. I don't care.
He said if you're a Steelers fan, you can call them the Ratbirds. But I'm not a Steelers fan, so I don't get the opportunity to do that.
It's sort of like an older brother saying to the younger brother, "I can make fun of the younger brother, but you can't do it," type sort of thing. Is that
yes, exactly?
I got you. Yeah, okay, yeah.
No, but I respect Ryan. He doesn't like me calling them the Ratbirds.
Yeah,
even though I said it 5 times.
Is that still? There's still some hurt feelings over the Music City Miracle from '99. Is that what that's about?
That was the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, was that the Bills? I thought that was the Ravens.
No, it was not the Ravens.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No, Ravens
what am I thinking of?
Ravens beat us when we had a winning field goal. We're gonna ice the game, go up by 9, 2 minutes to go. They blocked the field goal, ran it back for a touchdown.
That's
then
it.
We were driving. The game was over. It was 10 seconds to go. 37-yard field goal. We kick it all the time. You kick it. I forget the kicker. It goes through. They're up by 9. Game over. They go to the Super Bowl instead.
Yeah.
The Ravens block it, run it back for touchdown. We get the ball back. We're driving for the winning field goal. Eddie George gets stripped of the ball by the linebacker. What's his name? The Ray Lewis. Game over. And so, it is what it is. 888-480, John, you want to weigh in. But Ryan's in the house. And so, Ryan, we had to travel, so I didn't set anything up. And all the mics are in there, in that black bag there. But we did buy new lights. That light's crooked. That didn't travel well. So, but we did buy new lights. So we're going to be able to leave these here. But next week, by the way, next week we have to cancel DC Dispatch, right? Because we're in Nash Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
no
right.
DC Dispatch. Ladies will be heartbroken.
You'll be heartbroken. I know how much you love that hour. That's your favorite hour of the week.
Yes, it is a favorite hour. Because Ryan's here. That's why it's my
Ryan.
favorite hour.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Ryan makes it special. Ryan's good. I could take him on the road. I should take him to Nash Vegas.
I was his poor man's substitute over the last two or 3 days.
Hey, you did great.
In South Carolina.
You did great. I mean, we set up, right?
Yeah, we did.
We set up and then D set up and then set up and then D set up.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, it had to have been at least 4 times each. Yeah,
4 times, but it went smooth.
Yeah.
I do it very methodically.
And you made your flight okay on time, right?
Oh yeah,
we got you there. Yeah. I made my flight okay on time. Yeah, so we did it. We hit our marks. So that's good.
Aren't you amazed how I've got the setup and the D setup down to like
you described it as therapeutic.
The D set.
The D setup is
not the set. The set is hectic because you got to you're on a deadline.
Time,
But the D set is therapeutic because the show's over. Whatever show we're doing, it's over. And then I don't want anybody to help me pack because that's my 15 minutes of just
decompression. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. It was neat to watch because you do have it down to a science and it's not an an insignificant amount of equipment. It's a lot of stuff.
So. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah. All right. Let's get to a couple things here. I want to go, and then after this, I'm going to get to the post office. ICE special agent saying that despite Governor Hochul the hostage barring local police from helping us, we will continue to do our job in New York. Hochul the hostage, governor of New York, cut 7. Take a listen.
Much. Those goals are not mutually exclusive. Properly managed 287G partnerships include training, defined authorities, and accountability measures. They are intended to focus resources on individuals who come into contact with law enforcement through criminal arrest or detention, not to replace local policing priorities. New Yorkers deserve a clear understanding of what ended yesterday. This decision has removed a proven public safety tool. It ended cooperation that helped local law enforcement and ICE address criminal offenders in the community and already in custody. But make no mistake, ICE will continue doing its job. We will protect communities, we will support law enforcement, and we will work to ensure criminal offenders subject to federal immigration enforcement do not avoid accountability simply because New York restricted cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian. God bless you and the men and women of ICE. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. We have any questions?
You said you're going to follow the technicalities of the law. Can you be more specific as to exactly where you're going to follow it? How are you going to work with ICE still?
We are going to continue to work with.
Yeah, well, you're gonna work with ICE with or without Kathy the hostage Hochul, right? Let's get to cut 5. Here's Chair Chris Phelan saying, this is interesting. Where immigration has been restricted or deportations have gone up, rents have dropped. Really? Newsflash. I mean, this is like the common sense here. Of course, rents are higher when immigrants come in illegally and they're going to drive up rents because they're getting money from the government. And then there's a rent shortage and landlords charge more. Duh. Cut 5.
Council of Economic Advisors has a report that says if you just look at where immigration has been more restricted or deportations have gone higher, rents have gone even farther down. So rent relief is a real thing. Cost of housing relief is a real thing, and this administration is making progress on that. It's a huge part of people's budgets. If you look at, I want to just mention one thing, which is that we did have inflation data come in. That matters for Americans. Core PCE over the last 3 months is what I like to look at, is 3% annualized. The 3 months before that, 3.9% annualized. So the thing that the Fed likes to look at, core PCE growth, is coming down.
Well, it's supply and demand. When you flood a market with illegals, they have to rent something. They get rent subsidies paid by the government. So that drives up rent because there's more people that want to rent than available units. When the deportations happen and they get kicked out, what happens? The exact opposite. The exact opposite happens. And what the opposite is rents go down because now you have a glut of units. And so renters can rent what they want. And when there's more supply than demand, well, what happens? You learn this in the 7th grade. Price goes down. It's called the supply and demand curve. I mean, it's just this stuff is so stupid. I mean, it doesn't take a PhD to figure this out. Okay, I'm going to get to the post office. This is the most significant Supreme Court decision that can be made this cycle, which is the United States Post Office, on the executive order of President Trump, has put out guidelines and a policy that must be followed in order for the post office to put a ballot in the mail. And these rules are pretty straightforward. But one of them is, in order for them to put a ballot in the mailbox, right, they have to be sure that the recipient of the ballot is an vetted, eligible U.S. citizen and U.S. voter, that they're on the voter rolls, that they have a legit address, and that they're a legal U.S. citizen. These are the eligibility rules of voting in the U.S. Now, we also know the Democrats have violated all of these. Their eligibility is vote Democrat. Doesn't matter. As long as you're going to vote Democrat, you're eligible to vote. Doesn't matter if you're legal, if you're registered, if you get it mailed to a lot, get it mailed to a Dunkin' Donuts, it doesn't matter. As long as you're going to vote for them, you're good. Homeless, Skid Row, all good. Tents, fine. Tree person, no problem. As long as you vote for them. So that's really what the bottom line of this thing is very clear. Post office says if you're a libtard state like New Jersey with 6,000 fake voters, you have to send the Department of Justice your voting rolls. The Department of Justice then has a task force that will review those on your voting rolls. And they will confirm whether or not address and person is legit. And if they are, they'll give you voter rolls back. And that is what the post office can mail out at the discretion of that state if they choose to do that. Absent of that, the United States Postal Service, which is a federal agency, is not going to allow these ballots to get in the mail, which means no mail-out ballots. Now, there'll be lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, which they've already been filed. There's 50 of them. Every state will file 5. So there'll be 100 lawsuits, only to be solved by SCOTUS and Amy Phoney Barrett and John New York Times Roberts. Those are the two that have to solve this. Now, they voted 6-3 to throw out the other lawsuits they said didn't have standing. So that's not a permanent decision. So now everything is on hold. Now we got new lawsuits, and all the liberal judges are going to say, oh, you can't do this. And so all of the libtard judges are going to say no. And then it's going to go to SCOTUS. And SCOTUS has two choices. Rule on it now or punt. I don't think they can punt. This is too big. They can't punt. In my judgment, they can do anything they want. They're not going to punt. So they got to take this up and they got to make a ruling before these ballots get out in the mail. And the first ruling was 6-3, but they said no standing. So now it's going to be up to Roberts and Amy Coney Barrett, who basically control the government. These two people, because they vote in let's call it a collusion, a cartel. I'm alleging this. Maybe they don't talk to each other. I don't know, but they always vote the same. So I'm calling it the Amy Coney Barrett, John New York Times Roberts cartel. I think they collude and they basically control the outcome. But if they vote no, and it's 6-3, the Democrats are toast. They can't win because they can't win without cheating. And the cheating is not machines and thumb drives and servers on the moon and magic drones flying around from China. None of that, folks. The cheating is on the ground, and now it's predominantly in the mail. That's the cheating. Drop boxes, no chain of custody, ballots mailed out to God knows who, and then ballot harvesting. You go to the nursing home, you get 50 people with dementia, you sign them a ballot, you give them a chocolate chip cracker, and they sign it, and you put it in the drop box. That's where the fraud is. And the Democrats need these fake mail-in ballots in order to win. And absent of that, they're screwed. So this is what it's going to come down to, because they've built their electoral success on fake, phony, cheating mail-in ballots. And this executive order was brilliant because the post office is a federal agency. So they don't really care what the states say. Unless the state of New York gets their own postal system, this is under the guise of the federal government. They run the post office. They can do what they want. And so that is why it's going to be very difficult for Amy Coney Barrett and the New York Times or Roberts to overturn this, because this is a federal jurisdiction. Now, if the states want to go deliver them by hand, or they want to, spend the money to FedEx them out or something, I guess they can do that. I guess that's okay. The reality of it is no go. No go, because it's a federal jurisdiction. And if the Democrats can't cheat, they can't win. And that's what this is going to come down to, another Supreme Court decision. This is going to determine the power of the nation. This is going to determine who controls the House. This decision. And if it's 6-3, they're done. And you know it and I know it, because they're going to have to figure out what to do next, because they can't cheat the way they've cheated. They're not going to be able to mail them out to everybody unless they give the voter rolls, which is fine. I live in D.C. I get a mail-out ballot. I don't have to ask for it. It comes automatically. No problem with that. I got no problem with that, and I'm going to vote by mail again. So I like voting by mail. But if it's 6-3, Washington, D.C., which is treated like a state, is going to have to send their voter rolls to the Department of Justice, and they got to get cleaned up, which means that the ballots they're mailing out have to be legitimate U.S. citizen voters, of which I am one of them in Washington, D.C., and I'm happy to get my mail-in ballot. So I'm not opposed to mail-in ballots like so many Republicans are. I don't have a problem with it. I think if you do this right, it's to our advantage, because elderly people like to vote by mail. And so that's our vote base. And so we could market to them. We could do it the right way. The problem with votes in the mail is phony ballots going to phony addresses of people that are not citizens, and they cheat. That's the problem. You clean that up, then you're good to go. They say, well, the federal government shouldn't have access to our voting rolls. I have access to your voting rolls. Ryan, who just came in, has access to your voting rolls. It's a matter of public record. Anybody can get a voter roll. I'm a candidate in Washington, D.C. I'm an elected official, Ward 2 chairman. I can get ballot access to anywhere in the country. So I'm a candidate. So anybody can get the ballots. There's no like, federal government is going to get the ballots. It's a privacy issue. No, you can get it too. Just run for office, get your signatures, and now you got access to every ballot in America. It's nonsense. okay? Everything they say is garbage. It's all lies. So the most important thing we can do is get a 6-3 ruling. They can't cheat, and they're done. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network, trucking the truth across America. We're going to be right back. The DC Dispatch coming up. We're a little short. Lindsey Rowland. I'm sorry. Lindsey Rowland. She can't make it today. She's still under the weather. And Maria Pickering is traveling today. So it's just me, Terry, and Goodlander coming up right here on the John Fredericks Media Network. Don't forget, 6 to 7 o'clock today, Game on America Sports with yours truly. We'll be going over the SEC. Do not want to miss that. We'll be right back.
The J. Fred Media Menu, now serving hot takes of Rob Carson.
I want to talk a little bit about this transgender Canadian shooter. This is a tragedy, but I'm telling you, it doesn't help to avoid, because you're afraid of offending, the massive signs that this kid was going to do something. We are finally, I think, getting back to the fact we can say that boys who think they're girls, maybe there's something wrong.
The Rob Carson Show, weekdays, noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on J. Fred's Media Network.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are a $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
And they're off. This summer, the Thunder returns to Colonial Downs Racetrack. Live thoroughbred racing June 25th through September 7th. Feel the excitement. Hear the roar of the crowd. Experience Virginia's premier horse racing destination every Thursday through Sunday all summer long. Bring the whole family for Family Fun Sundays, packed with activities for all ages. Parking? Free. General admission? Free. Memories? Priceless. Make Colonial Downs Racetrack your new summer fun time tradition. Get tickets and race day info now at Colonial Downs.
This is WJFN, Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, and WJFV, Portsmouth.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. One eyewitness says they never had a chance. People scrambled to escape a towering wall of water, mud, and debris. It came roaring down the mountainsides of Nepal and neighboring Tibet, sweeping away everything and everyone in its path.
Over 1,000 people have been left missing on the Nepal-China border after a series of floods caused by a glacier collapse swept through the area. Rescue teams in Nepal are scrambling after a catastrophic and deadly torrent of floods and mud swept through several communities, leaving hundreds of people dead. More than 1,300 remain missing, including foreigners and pilgrims. Hundreds of residents across the Himalayan region were displaced. Videos of the tragedy showed the flood swallowing up people as they tried to escape. Drone footage from Nepal on Thursday showed the scale of the destruction. I'm Karen Shamas.
An ICE officer charged with shooting a man in Minneapolis and then lying about it has been released from a Texas jail. This after Minnesota's demand for the agent's immediate extradition was rejected by a judge. It's a new weapon to be deployed in the fight against pancreatic cancer.
It's called daraxonrasib with the brand name Rasanq. The daily pills block a mutated protein that fuels tumor growth in more than 90% of pancreatic cancer cases. Patients who got the new treatment live for a median of 13.2 months, compared with 6.7 months for people on chemotherapy. One oncologist says this is not a cure, but it's the best option they've ever had. Pancreatic cancer is among the most deadly forms because it is hard to detect before it starts spreading to other organs. Earlier this year, former Nebraska Senator Ben Sasse described on BS's 60 Minutes how he had less pain while taking daraxonrasib. Ed Donahue, Washington.
The Dow futures down 120 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085 or biglou.com.
Closing arguments are set to begin in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy, the Massachusetts mother accused of killing her 3 young children several years ago.
Prosecutors say Ms. Clancy deliberately sent her husband out to get dinner, calculated how long he'd be gone, and used that time to strangle the children before attempting to take her own life. The defense says she was suffering from postpartum psychosis after repeatedly seeking help, reporting suicidal thoughts, and warning that she had considered harming her children. This case has shocked America. Supporters say a seriously ill mother was failed by the medical system. Others argue sympathy for Lindsay Clancy has overshadowed the deaths of the 3 children. A murder conviction would mean life in prison without parole.
The BBC's Shaima Halil. Another tanker attack has been reported in the Strait of Hormuz. The UK Maritime Trade Organization says another oil tanker has been hit by an unknown projectile in that strategic waterway. News and analysis, townhall.com. Judge declines to let Steve Bannon off the hook.
A federal judge has rejected the Justice Department's request to dismiss Trump ally Steve Bannon's criminal conviction, refusing to testify before the congressional committee that investigated a mob's January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. But the order may not be final. U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols ruled that prosecutors failed to properly explain their motivations for seeking the dismissal of Bannon's indictment. However, the judge says the government is free to renew its request. Bannon already served a 4-month prison term after a jury convicted him of contempt of Congress in 2022. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
A Maryland court says a Democrat-friendly redistricting amendment cannot go on the November ballot. Democrats already hold 7 of the state's 8 U.S. House districts. They had hoped to get that 8th seat. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are a $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
MyPillow's second annual mega sale is finally here. Get our patented premium MyPillows that adjust your exact individual needs to give you the best sleep of your life.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
I guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable pillows you'll ever own. King size only $24.98, queen size only $19.98. Giza Dream bed sheets, the best sheets in history, as low as $29.98. Luxpear 6-piece towel sets, towels that actually dry you. What a concept. Now only $39.98. And our made in the USA mattresses and mattress toppers as low as $99.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. Plus, free shipping options available when you order today. So don't delay, order now.
Washington is wasting $500 million every year on a federal supervision system that doesn't work. Probation officers are overwhelmed. Resources are going to people who pose zero threat, while actual dangerous individuals slip through the cracks. The Safer Supervision Act stops the waste and refocuses every dollar on protecting families from harm. President Trump's own pollster found about 80% of Trump voters want this fixed. It's time for Congress to get this done. Stop the waste. Protect our communities. Visit safersupervision.com. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Folks, this is Crime Carmichael, CEO of Solti. I have recently turned 77 years old. I do not take prescription drugs. I have not had to take prescription drugs, and I attribute a lot of my good health to a product that I've been taking, which is the active ingredient in Sol Tea. It's a 22% concentration of theaflavin. We did clinical trials on it 25 years ago and found that it helped lower cholesterol. We have had many, many hundreds of letters and emails from customers telling us how it has helped them not only manage their cholesterol, but lower their triglycerides and help them on their blood pressure. And I can't tell you how much I attribute to Sol Tea for my good health at age 77. And I encourage you to go to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. And use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% off on your initial shipment of Sol Tea. And I promise you it will be a great help for your heart health. Thanks so much.
Trump 2.0 is in full effect. How do you keep up with all the action? I'll tell you. TrumpNationNews.com is your inside source for the inside scoop. Manufacturing, jobs, deportations, and the nation's rejuvenation. The first 100 days and beyond. All the news you need and no liberal gibberish. It's the perfect way to start your day. Sign up for the TNN newsletter. Do it today. TrumpNationNews.com. TrumpNationNews.com. Part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
Live from the studios of the John Fredericks Media Network, it's the John Fredericks Show. Grab yourself a cup of 1775 coffee, sit back, and get ready for the best 4 hours of talk in the universe. To be part of the show, just call our toll-free number, 888-480-5646. And now, here's the Godzilla of Truth, the Oracle of the Deplorables, the man who plays to win the game, John Fredericks.
Well, welcome to DC Dispatch. I'm your host, John Fredericks. Great to have you. If it's Thursday, we got the ladies here, and we are fired up. Now, we're a little short today. Maria Pickering, she's traveling. She's at a funeral today. Lindsay Rowland is still out sick. She's a little under the weather, but she's going to be back next week. Next week, I'll be in Nashville. We'll be doing this remotely, so nobody in studio, everybody remote. And Ryan doesn't have to come in. Ryan, thanks for coming in today, as always. So our panel, a little downsized today, so more airtime for everybody. The one and only Terry Gilberg from, well, she was at Clear Channel and she was at Salem Radio, now a private company. But now she's with us, and great to have her with us. Very savvy media personality, Terry Gilberg. Always good to have you with us, Terry. Thank you. It's good to see you, too. You look great. And also, well, it's an everyday occurrence.
Love the tie.
Well, thank you. Compliments at 9 a.m. on Thursday go a long way, especially when we're traveling all week. Also with us, Vice Chair, DC GOP. That's not an oxymoron. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Christina Goodlander, like there actually is a DC GOP. And once Goodlander becomes chairman, then we'll actually have a party that, raises money and has a campaign. Right now, we don't have that. But someday we can dream that we can actually have a party that does something. Anyway, Christina Goodlander running for chairman, and she is the vice chair of the DC GOP, whatever that is. Anyway, it's good to have you ladies with us. We had a lot to talk about today. I'm going to go a little bit backwards, and I want to start, Christina, with what you were talking about off air a little bit when we were getting started. Is the radicals in Washington, D.C. These are leftist communist radicals, but now they took a page out of the German handbook in 1939. It's just unbelievable what they're doing. Christina tells me that the radicals, the Free D.C. communists, are going to local retailer storefronts and saying you either put the Free D.C. sign up on your window, on your storefront, or we will tell everybody to boycott your store. Isn't this what the Germans did with the Star of David, or did I read my history wrong, Christina Goodlander?
I think you read your history correctly. This is a very troubling turn. I'll just read you verbatim from DC, from the Free DC website. So they're doing trainings for their activists for this about twice a month. They're calling it the Local Business Canvas. And the website leads with, economic boycotts are a time-tested tool communities can use to hold powerful entities accountable. Just as importantly, we can also redirect our money toward businesses that share our values. So I guess the local dry cleaner is a powerful entity, and they want to boycott the local dry cleaner if he doesn't put up a free DC sign.
And maybe the next will be defend DC or demand DC statehood, or DC is it, or DC rocks and the DC Dispatch doesn't rock.
It's called extortion.
Yeah,
it is.
Intimidation, bullying, and extortion. And basically, these people should be brought up on criminal charges, because this is no different than the mob. This is a mafia. Yeah. This is no different than the New York mafia going in the stores and saying, pay us 10% of your revenue, pay us $1,000 a week, or we're going to burn, or we're going to burn you down, and we're not going to give you protection from us.
And that's a private storefront as well.
It's absolute extortion, and it's going on here, and nobody says anything because everybody's afraid, and we have no part. You know what? The next press release I put out, that's it.
Yeah.
That thing is, to me, you really think about this. It's extortion.
Yeah, the bottom line is thugs don't always wear jackboots. Sometimes it's blue-haired they-thems. But
with
still, they're thugs.
Ring noses.
No, they're thugs.
Yeah.
It's just it's crazy, and nobody says anything. And of course, our party is silent. There's no press release. They don't say anything about it. The media doesn't cover it, and this is an outrageous thing. And every business should be complaining about it, but they're afraid because of the intimidation. If you're downtown and you own a convenience store, you own a bodega, or you own, somebody said, a dry cleaners, whatever, you're a little jewelry store, or a shoe repair. You don't have the wherewithal. You don't put that sign in. Now everybody's not going to shop your store. You go to business because they intimidate everybody.
When do they think they're going to start this with all the signage?
They've already been doing these local business canvases. This has been going on for months.
I haven't seen it.
They have, yeah. I don't know what they're doing in terms of the signage. That might be a slow roll thing. I remember back when there was the whole debate over the bike lane on Connecticut Avenue, there was a concerted effort where any business that didn't put we have to have a bike lane in the window, they boycotted, and there was some vandalism of businesses that didn't do it. So I think it's going to get ramped up. I actually also haven't seen signs in windows around town, so I don't know exactly how they're rolling this out, but they've been doing trainings for their activists.
Yeah, I see that on the
months.
website. I wonder which are the top businesses that they want to target first. And I would think these would be very small businesses. Like John just said, the dry cleaner, the liquor store, the shoe shine, the hairstylist, the nail salon.
Yeah, a lot of kind of the hipster businesses already do tend to have free DC swag. If you go into a lot of the local kind of
but that's their choice.
Stores, that's their choice.
That's their choice. See, that's their if they want to put up a free DC sign, right, in their store because that's what they happen to believe in.
Yeah, that is their choice.
Or they want to appeal to that particular constituency to shop there. That's fine.
Sure.
If I see a free DC sign in their store, I'm not going to shop there. I'll pass it and go 2 blocks somewhere else without the sign because I can't stand them because they're a bunch of communist rat finks. I don't want anything to do with them. I'm not going to give them my money. That's my choice, their choice, our choice.
Well, the other thing that
when you go into somebody and say, you put this political sign up, or we will tell everybody to boycott your store and stand out front and make sure they don't come. Now you're into 1939 Germany.
That's right. And that's the difference.
Putting the Star of David up.
And that's the difference. And there's another little footnote to what you just said, which was perfect in showing the difference. If you see that, you can go in that store and say, hey, Mr. Store owner, you've got this sign up. I'm a customer. I'm offended by that. Let's give them a little of their own medicine, right? I'm offended by that. In fact, that's a turnoff. And I'm a customer. Why would you want to turn me off when I'm about ready to buy a couple bottles of wine?
Because you're not in the majority there, you're not in the majority of people that they believe think that way. And so they can't control what you do, but they can intimidate the other potential customers. So that's really what this is. This is a campaign of intimidation, top down.
But I can also say to the store owner, buddy, I like you, but you just lost a customer.
Yeah, but
bye-bye.
But people don't want to do that. I mean, they just want to go in.
They just want to go in
and buy their. They just want to go in and buy a 6-pack of beer or buy a quart of milk. They don't want to be caught up in a political entanglement.
That's true. They don't.
Yeah.
But it's a feedback to that shop owner that you just lost a customer, and it's me, and I could have dropped $50, $150, whatever, on a couple bottles of wine. Bye-bye.
I mean,
maybe you'll get the message. It comes down to dollars.
But then they don't. Then they take the sign away, and then the jackboot. What did you call them? The blue hair jackboots.
The they them thugs. Yeah.
They them thugs.
Not all thugs.
Then
wear
they stand out in
jackboots.
front of your store and tell everybody,
That's right.
Hey, don't go in there.
Not all thugs wear jackboots.
They got they them blue hairs.
So is the Defend DC signage also going up? Defend DC, Robert White's big program now that he rolled out in Freedom Square, Freedom Plaza.
Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. Right now, apparently they're planning to deploy their busloads of activists to congressional districts to campaign for the midterms. Because basically they don't think that the DC GOP is even a player in our local elections. So they're not going to be playing here. So they're sending busloads of their people to swing districts.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to work. That's this whole push by Robert White, who is the destined congressional person. He's, what do they call it? The presumptive next delegate, and he'll go into office in January from DC. But right now, what he's trying to do is he's trying to rally as many people as he can. And by the way, there weren't that many people that came out in Freedom Square, which was last Monday, to say this: give me your car, give me your van, give me your bus, give me your SUV, give me your bicycles, give me your energy, give me your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, give me anybody that you know. Go rally 10 friends of yours. What did he say? Get your church families going, unions going, friends, campus students, anybody to go out into neighboring states like Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. Even you said before we came into the studio, New Hampshire, New Jersey, and get with those legislators. I can only imagine a bunch of blue hairs with ring noses going in and knocking on the door of the New Jersey legislature and saying, hey, you're going to be for statehood for DC, aren't you? Fist to the man. How do you think that's going to work out? Not so bueno, I think.
Well, because we have no opposition here and no political party and no leadership and nothing. We don't even send a press release out. They can then take their army. They don't have to campaign for themselves. They don't have to campaign for their council members, at-large, mayor. It's all fait accompli. They're all going to get 93% of the vote. We put no fight up, and so they can take those resources and go elsewhere. And that's one of the key problems, Christina Goodlander, that we have.
100%. We have, in addition to the fact that we actually need to make change in our nation's capital, because this is our nation's capital and it's being run into the ground by poor governance, we also have to keep them fighting here so that they're not fighting in Pennsylvania.
I just think this whole ground game is goofy. I don't think it's going to work, but it might, because as you just said, where are the Republicans? Where are the Republicans pushing back on this? But just imagine this: a bunch of pink hairs, blue hairs, ring noses, tat people going into, let's say, tat people. The tat people.
Be careful with the tats.
The tat people, going into like a legislature, careful, fist to the man,
you're toeing the edge.
Don't tell me about your tats. I don't need to know. I'm sure glad you guys have long sleeves on.
You're toeing the line.
Imagine this going into the legislature of, say, South Dakota, let's say, because they're talking about that. They're talking about taking it to the legislatures in 50 states. Can you imagine getting on planes and flying to Hawaii and saying, hey, everybody, we're here to crash your legislature meeting because you're going to vote for DC statehood, aren't you?
But the thing is, some of them are good at pretending to look normal. This is actually something where we do have to keep our eye on the ball. Because right now, the majority of the American people don't think that DC should be a state. And Democratic presidents have not taken this up as a cause that they want to support. Like Obama had control of everything. He didn't do this. Biden didn't do it. But the thing is, the Overton window has shifted with the Democrats right now. Even 4 years ago, mainstream Democrats were not talking about packing the Supreme Court, but now they are, because now the game is pure power. And the case that you could make to some of these Democrat state legislature people is that this is about power, because they think that it's 2 blue seats for the Senate.
Yeah, power and control.
It's the kind of thing where right now they're not winning the argument, but we can't take our eye off the ball, and we have to be counter-messaging this, and we have to keep making our own argument for why this is wrong.
I mean, the Washington, D.C. Democrats have turned into like Communist Party ground zero.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at you look at this mayor coming in, she's a communist, Janice Lewis George. You look at the 2 new council member coming in, they're communists. I mean, we have the greatest, most beautiful, safest city in America, and there's going to be a communist mayor and a communist council. And then you got President Trump that's basically still calling the shots. This is going to be, I tell you, the next year here is really going to be interesting. Lace them up and lace them tight. Fasten your seatbelts, because I can tell you this, from the times that I have been in the press pool with the president, there is not a single issue that is the purpose of his Oval Office press gatherings where Washington, D.C. does not come up.
Yeah. But he's aware of everything.
He's aware of everything. He's got tremendous pride in what he's done here. He is not going to let the city fall back into the filth and squalor that it was when he came in for the second term. So there's going to be a conflict here.
Let's take Robert White at his own words.
Libtard.
Is he a that person too? Not sure. Let's take Robert White at his own words. At the rally, he said, Congress has the power to make D.C. a statehood, but we intend to build the Congress to do it.
Congress doesn't have the power.
Congress does not have the power to do that.
I mean, he doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about.
I know he doesn't. I'm just giving you the quote. Now let's talk about both of those pieces. We intend to build the Congress to do it. How, Robert? And Congress has the power to make D.C. a statehood. Huh? I mean, this is what he says to the people. This is what he says to his rally. And I don't know if you know it or not, but there weren't that many people there last Monday.
Yeah.
Were you there? No,
God, no.
I wasn't there.
No,
You
there
weren't
were people
Who was
in
there?
the there were
Freedom
people
Plaza.
in the inflatable frog costumes that they like to wear, which is, I mean, these are fundamentally unserious people. These are jokesters. You had a whole bunch of Free Palestine signs. You have people chanting like from DC to Palestine, occupation is wrong. I don't know what their snappy little stupid jingo is, but it's like, what is being like, what does Palestine have to do with DC? I mean, I get that they're thugs and Hamas are thugs, and thugs have kind of a thug brotherhood of thugs, but it's ridiculous.
Well,
thugs will be thugs.
When we were talking before we came in, Christina, I said, I don't think this kind of Defend DC proposal, because that's kind of what he's doing out there in Freedom Plaza, is going to last. But you said, yes, it will. It's got legs. I don't see it. You're probably right. I don't see it in South Dakota, Montana,
no, but they're going to go.
Idaho.
Look what they did.
Kansas.
They went to the 5th district. They went to Virginia. It's a couple hours away. They went to the 5th district, John McGuire's district. He's a favorite there, but they've got a former congressman running. It's going to be moderately competitive. He's going to get a lot of money.
Yeah, Tom Perrello, he's a Soros guy.
Yeah, he's a Soros guy. They're going to spend a lot of money. McGuire's going to win that seat. But,
I'm not saying they're not going to try. I'm saying, is this going to have fruition?
I mean,
it could.
You do? You think
we have
so?
to keep our eye on the ball.
Well, the fact of the matter is they don't have to campaign here because there's no opposition. So,
right.
I mean, that's the problem.
Right. Well, that's right.
That's always been the problem when you don't run candidates is if you have no opposition and you're a Democrat, you can go out and campaign and raise money for another Democrat. If you've got to fight to hold your own seat, even if it's a long shot for the Republican to win, but if you have to fight it, well, you just can't go out there and spend time on it, right? Because you have to respond to the press. You have to respond, right? And the other problem we have here with the media, and I've proven this, give the media something and they will cover it. Give them nothing and there's nothing for them to cover. That's why I say, well, there's no media here for Republicans because you don't give them anything. I mean, I put out one press release and I got 2 interviews off it. And I'm Ward 2 chairman. I put out one on Tuesday about the stadium. I got an interview with NOTUS, the guy that covers it from D.C., and I got a mention in the Washington Examiner. All I did was put a press release out. Give them something meaningful, and they'll cover it. You give them nothing, you have no presence.
Because a lot of them don't want to be completely one-sided. That's not
No, they
journalism.
want to cover something.
They want to, they want to cover this.
Well, here's what also they ought to be covering is this guy that, and did I don't think we sent Dan the graphic here. I probably should have done this, Dan, but I don't have time now. But there's a guy that has a guillotine in the back of his truck. A guillotine. I mean, think about this. A guillotine. Remember the guillotines in the French Revolution, right?
And before
they chop your head off and put it in the basket. He has a guillotine in his truck, and he parks it in front of the Supreme Court. Now, are you kidding me?
And this was a real, actual guillotine.
It was a guillotine. It was a guillotine.
Sometimes the crazy people will have like fake ones made out of plastic that they bring for their protests and for show.
No, this was a real one.
Full-on blade that would have been capable of decapitating a person. And this guy was driving it around D.C.
Not only that, he drove it from California across country. They're all crazy when they do. So we're driving all the way across country. I'm going to take on the man in D.C. All right, he drives it cross country. I mean, think about that. From somewhere near San Diego, drives it all the way across country, and then just parks it there. Now, perhaps it had a tarp over it or something as he's going through the middle of the country, but he parks it in front of the Supreme Court. Now, all kinds of cops were looking at this guy. All kinds of cops. And he gets arrested. What does he get arrested for? What was it? Charged with carrying a dangerous weapon. Well, you think? Although that's only a misdemeanor. And he was also charged with attempted possession of a prohibited weapon. Is a guillotine prohibitive? I think so, right? I mean,
does the Second Amendment cover it? I'm personally very pro Second Amendment, but does the Second Amendment cover a guillotine?
I don't think so.
But he's out of jail now. They let him out on bail, so he's on the loose in D.C.
He said he dislikes Gavin Newsom and President Trump. Well, why didn't you take your guillotine to Sacramento?
Exactly.
But he didn't. He's got to come all the way over. And then he doesn't go toward the White House. He goes toward the Supreme Court. He's goofy. He's crazy. He worked as a tattoo artist and an ear piercer. Any of you people that like tats? I mean, maybe. And if he's still around, maybe he could go to work here.
Why is she going off on the tat thing? What is this about the tats?
All right.
Tats are conservative now.
I don't know what
Even
they are.
The Daily Wire had a thing about
I'm tattooed head to
those
foot. I'm tattooed shoulder down to foot, and I don't know why.
Here's his name. Does anybody want to know? He's 35 years old.
Terry wishes she had tattoos.
Oh, I do. How do you know that I don't?
Because I know that. Yeah, no, that's because you keep bringing it up.
This is the first time I've ever brought a tattoo.
I'll hook you up with my guy here in DC.
Should I show you?
No,
all right. I'll just tease it. He's 35 years old. His name is Philan, Philan. Dewey Lee, Tam Dewey Lee. And he has got a brother that says that he's harmless and that he's a little... Anyway.
Okay, a little is not harmless these days. There are people in this country who have a screw loose. We've had 3 assassination attempts at least on President Trump.
At least.
We had the guy
that we know of.
Yeah, we had the guy who drove to D.C. and was arrested outside of Justice Kavanaugh's house, saying that he had intentions to do harm to Justice Kavanaugh.
Right.
We had the governor of Pennsylvania's house was set on fire. He's a Democrat, but the far left doesn't like him. We've had far too many incidents of political violence in this country that this guillotine thing is serious.
You got to take all these things
it's not
seriously.
harmless.
There it is on our screen. I want to know who helped him build it. Maybe his goofy brother also helped him.
I don't
build
know. It's just
I don't know. But it was a misdemeanor, so he's out.
He's back on trying to chop people's heads off.
Did he get his guillotine back, or is it in evidence lockup? One would hope.
Is it guillotine or is it guillotine or
it
something?
depends on if we're being French or American. I mean, whatever. I'm part French Canadian. I grew up speaking French, so I could say guillotine. But
they say guillotine.
Guillotine.
But that's what I thought.
I'm American, so you can say whatever. The point is, it's a device that cuts people's heads off, and we don't need it running around on the streets of DC.
It's parked in front of the Supreme
Yeah,
Court.
especially parked in front
so
of the
that they
Supreme
can
Court.
so that they can further intimidate Amy Coney Barrett, right? But that's really what the purpose of it is, right? To completely intimidate her again.
He might not like
so she
Sotomayor
can,
and Amy.
No, he doesn't like.
Gavin
No,
Newsom nor Trump.
that's baloney.
I mean, these
He
are
parks in front of the
anti-system
Supreme
chaos agents.
Court. He could have parked in front of Sacramento, right?
That's right. He could.
And if he did that, he'd be in jail.
Less gas too.
He'd be in jail. You're with DC Dispatch. I'm John Fredericks. You're allegedly your host. It's good to have you here. Terry Gilberg with us, and also Terry, as you know, media mogul from back in the day, now with us, and the one and only Christina Goodlander, Vice Chair, DC GOP. No oxymoron there. Hey, this segment is brought to you by our good friends at the Smart Health Plan Company. Now, if you're like me, you're tired of getting hammered by outrageous healthcare costs. I mean, these things keep going up, and it's just nuts. I mean, I'm old enough, obviously, to be on Medicare. Doesn't matter. I still pay through the nose. Here's what the Smart Health Plan gives you through Barry Draper. You get complete and comprehensive coverage, hospitalization, surgery, critical illness protection. You also get access to a national PPO network with a $15 copay. If you need quick care, unlimited telemedicine, that's included. Prescriptions, they have a plan for that as well. Doesn't matter if you need an individual health plan for yourself, you're in the gig economy, or you have a small company like we do, and maybe you need one for your company. Either way, they can work with you. They have a lot of flexible options. Here's the kicker. Their rates are 35 to 40% lower than unsubsidized plans out there than you're going to find with traditional group coverage. So give them a call today. Check it out. It's kind of like get a quote, see if it works for you, your company, and your family. Takes you a couple minutes. 833-752-6742. 833-752-6742. Or go to the smarthealthplan.com. That's the smarthealthplan.com. And you are good to go. So thank you for doing that. Okay, we're going to get to another topic here. This is crazy. You've got guillotines in front of the Supreme Court. You've got the Free DC commie whack jobs doing the 1939 Star of David anti-Semitic shuffle in front of stores like the mafia. If you don't put a sign up, we're going to boycott your stores. This is what the mafia does. That goes fine. There's no problem with that. We don't do anything. But here's what they got now. They've got this group that part of Free DC with a systematic effort to push jury nullification in DC. So we have Jeanine Pirro, who's trying to convict criminals, right? So we have a real U.S. attorney. Mm-hmm. And so they come up with this plot to train potential jurists how to fake their way through and lie their way through a jury pool in order to get put on a jury, in order to be the one holdout for convicting a criminal, so that they put a monkey in the wrench of Jeanine Pirro and the Trump administration in DC and let criminals go free regardless of the evidence. And they fake their way through jury selection. And there's a training program to do it. This is the most insane thing. And again, this goes unnoticed. Christina Goodlander, give us a detail.
So it's the same group that's doing the economic boycotts. They're doing what's called the Juror Information Project, Juror Education Project, whatever. But basically, there was
the nullification.
Yeah, nullification. There was a reporter from the Washington Examiner who actually got himself into one of these trainings, and he observed it. And it was basically this, like John said, it was this systematic method for how you can get picked for a jury. You're basically not supposed to say anything. You're supposed to show up looking normal. So if you're like a blue-haired they, them, maybe cut down on the blue hair. You could have tats, but not blue hair. You're supposed to look normal. You're supposed to not say much during the voir dire, during when they ask you questions, and then the lawyers have a chance to throw out particular jurors. They teach them to effectively lie about their affiliations. So one of the questions, for example, that you can get asked when you're on a jury is, are you a member of a prison abolition group or a police abolition group? And the trainer said, look, you can answer no because what? Do you have a membership card? Did you pay dues? So technically the answer is no. So they're effectively teaching these people to lie. I mean, you could call it like lawyering, you could call it sophistry, you could call it whatever, but it's fundamentally dishonest behavior. And they're getting themselves onto juries. And like John said, they're preventing convictions. So before Jeanine Pirro became the U.S. attorney for D.C., she had a very, very strong conviction record because she does her work. She picks cases that actually are strong, and she tries people who actually are guilty. But we've had now in D.C., even CNN has covered this. Even CNN has said that it's very troubling. CNN hasn't covered the Free D.C. clowns and what they're doing, but they're saying, well, why is it that these MS-13 members who, you know, there's Jeanine Pirro's office has a very strong case against them. They're prosecuted in a very competent way. So why is it that these people are not being convicted? And it's because of this jury nullification project.
And one of the other things that I think is really important when they go to the nullification workshop, if one of the jury selection committee members says, have you ever been arrested? And if so, let me know what and when and where. Was it a misdemeanor? Was it a conviction? They want to know the data on the arrest. The person is trained to say, I was detained, and then not say anything more. Wait, the question is, have you ever been arrested? Okay, I was detained. I think the jury selection committee should really look over their questions. Have you ever been arrested and convicted? The operative word is convicted. Felony conviction with no civil rights restored means you can't be on the jury, period. Basta. No. Pending charge for a crime punishable by imprisonment for more than 1 year. Can't be on the jury. But these kind of squishy questions, I mean, I really think the jury committee, the selection committee, when they're vetting through whoever's going to be on a jury, really needs to take a look at this and really ask the pertinent question, because the white lies are sneaking through, the spin is sneaking through. If on a jury, if they actually make it on the jury, they are instructed to vote not guilty, period. Just not guilty.
I mean, if you
for
really,
any reason that they believe, the guy could be not guilty.
But there's no reason to believe. They're going on the jury in order to let criminals go and vote for a hung jury, because they're never in the majority. There's never a unanimous decision. It's always a hung jury. So what should be troubling to every American is not the fact that you weasel your way onto a jury. That's bad enough with the training. But your purpose there is to hang the jury, to let the criminal go, regardless of the evidence. Once you go down this path,
it's serious.
Once you go down this path,
serious, folks.
The entire U.S. judicial system of judged by a jury of your peers now becomes politicized and goes out the window. This is the seriousness of this.
It is.
It's incredibly
Right?
serious. Because your role as a juror is to weigh the evidence. Your role as a juror is to sit there in the courtroom and to take things seriously, to weigh the evidence. And if the prosecution proves beyond reasonable doubt, then you vote to convict. And if they don't, then you vote to acquit.
This is what our whole United States judicial system, this is the cornerstone, the bedrock of it. This is what it's founded on. And what they're doing is so perverse. It's like, let's fake somebody onto the jury to then nullify the potential conviction of a political opponent that is arresting criminals because we don't like them, regardless of the evidence. The evidence doesn't matter. I'm in that jury to vote for not a conviction, to thwart Jeanine Pirro and the Trump administration and the Department of Justice. And in so doing that, if I let another criminal out on the street that should be convicted and they rape or murder another Washingtonian, well, in their view, that's collateral damage for the greater good. This is the sickness of this. This is beyond sick. It is an assault on the entire U.S. judicial system. You let this thing take hold, nobody will ever believe a jury again.
No kidding. And I think there is, they're trying, in other words, to get jurors on this case, at least it's my understanding. It's the conspirator case in the 1988 Lockerbie, Scotland bombing with the Pan Am Flight 103. That still is coming up, if you can even believe it.
That's 30 years
If
ago.
you can even believe it. So trying to get
40
this,
years ago.
these,
How old is that? 40
1988.
That's 40 years ago.
I think it's this year, as a matter of fact. I was astonished when I saw it. But here's something your national audience should know. You mentioned Free DC. It isn't just the group Free DC. There's two other groups. A group called Freedom Trainers. Look out for that one. Freedom Trainers, doing the same thing, these nullification workshops. And the other one, which is kind of a goofy title, Harriet's Wildest Dreams. What the hell does that mean? Well, that's another secretive thing.
They're out of Louisiana.
They're Louisiana, sort of a code for we do nullification workshops. Harriet's Secret Dreams out of Louisiana.
Well, these are the same people that don't want jails.
Yeah, and they don't want police.
They don't want cops. They don't want
and
jails.
They don't want Supreme Court. They don't want any
They
of
just
that.
want
They're very,
criminals
very
running around the streets. They want chaos in America.
It's anarcho-tyranny.
It's anarcho-tyranny.
It's
I gotta write that down.
anti-civilization.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and
these
then
are the
that's
same
supposed to
people
be-
who chant down with Western civilization. Personally, I like Western civilization. That's why. And look, without Western civilization, these people wouldn't be able to even do what they do. They owe a great debt to Western civilization, and they're using it against us.
See, I'm not sure that even our audience, which is very savvy and very dialed in, understands the dire consequences of what we're up against here.
Well, here's one more thing that
Not only in DC but across the nation.
You're right, John. It is extremely serious.
I mean, these are anarchists.
Yeah.
Like Soros giving all this money to these, soft on crime DAs when he did that, and the Republicans were caught with their pants down, not paying attention. He got all these super left wing DAs and letting people out of jail. Well, what was the purpose of that? Chaos, anarchy, crime, squalor,
and yet when they
rapes,
go in
murders,
to
that's their purpose.
But John, when they go into these workshops, they're supposed to be like pablum, like milk toast, like wear beige. They actually tell them wear beige, show no blue hair. You got to get it dyed back to your original color. No shirts that say Black Lives Matter or anything. Just go in very, very kind of neutral, almost act dumb, like you don't know much. And yet you've got all of this workshop in the back of your head and try to get through the system.
Even think about that.
They're anarchists dressed up in beige.
It's dishonest.
You're
It's so
training
dishonest.
anarchists to fake and phony your way onto a jury, not to do anything, but to let criminals out to create chaos at the expense of innocent people who are going to get harmed. I mean, this is another thing. I mean, why our Department of Justice isn't looking into this is beyond me. I mean, this is a crazy way to circumvent the entire U.S. judicial system.
Did you know?
And it might go beyond the First Amendment. This might not be protected by the First
Well,
Amendment.
that's true
It
too.
should be.
Do you know a felony conviction in D.C. with a felony conviction, you can serve on some juries only 1 year after release or after you finish your sentencing. It used to be 10 years. And some of those juries are pettit or trial juries. Can you imagine? That is so loosey-goosey to me, John. It used to be 10 years with a felony conviction. Not anymore.
1 year.
1 year.
One
You got to
year.
finish your sentence, your probation. Everything's got to be in the past. It's got to be behind you. But it's 1 year, and you're good to go again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't tell it to the screening process.
You have a
because-
jury selection process, and that's in and of itself is supposed to be an honest process.
Right,
'Cause
that's right.
You have the defense attorney and you have the prosecutor, and they just want to evaluate that they're going to get a fair jury. And if they don't think you're fair, then you get dismissed. And so being trained to fake your way on. You're supposed to go into a jury if you get called for jury duty, and all of us have been there, right?
Yeah.
They're going to sit and ask you questions under oath. And, I think I've been through the process, twice in my life. I was the first person dismissed both times, out.
I was
which
in a
is-
jury in D.C.
Yeah, I mean,
it was fun. I wanted to get him, but I answered honestly. I mean,
honestly.
because they ask you if you know anybody who's a lawyer, which everybody in DC does. So I answered honestly, but they still let me on.
Right.
But I think the good news is that this story is out. The other good news is Jeanine Pirro is well aware of this. I looked something up too. Since April, Jeanine Pirro has had 2 cases where defendants were acquitted and 4 that are going to trial, but that went to trial, but ended in deadlock or mistrials. She doesn't like this record.
That's a hung jury.
Right,
because that's
right.
the one person
That's
on it that is
and
going to vote.
She doesn't like this. She does not like this. So the cat's out of the bag, but we've got to press on this. I think you ought to do a press release on this one, John.
And it's not even that they don't, it's not even just that they vote no, it's that they refuse to even deliberate or engage in the process, which again, that's a fundamentally dishonest thing. If you're chosen as one of the 12 jurors, it's your responsibility in that jury room to deliberate and engage with the process.
Yeah. And it's all designed to upset Trump's prosecutions, which go through the DCAG. I know it's a little funky, but it's the DCAG, Jeanine Pirro. She handles federal and federal.
Well, she's the U.S. attorney.
She's
not the AG.
No, but she's AG for DC.
The U.S. attorney prosecutes DC local crime because the attorney general in DC, we have an elected attorney general who's a far left Democrat who only prosecutes juvenile crime, which in DC is no joke because more than half of carjackings are juveniles.
Same idea.
Same
okay,
deal.
I thought it was synonymous, but I stand corrected. But nevertheless, she is aware. And I don't know what's happening in that office. I don't know what movements are happening in the office to expose this all the more. But who's ever on those selection committees, they better get their questions.
And again, where's the
questions
DC,
right?
Where is the Republican Party on
this? Because this is not even. This is not just an assault. This is not just an assault on President Trump. This is an assault on the American system.
Well, it's
like John said, and like Terry said, it's an assault on the bedrock principles that undergird our republic.
It's very serious
an assault
stuff.
on every law-abiding citizen in Washington, D.C., who you're letting a criminal out that's going to put you at risk.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't like they're getting on a jury pool to decide if somebody trespassed in Farragut Square or jaywalked. I mean, they're getting on criminal trials with dangerous people. And they want to let them out and let them back on the street so they can rape, murder, or pillage or loot again.
And the classic example, current example, is the MS-13 guys right now that are in the system. But the idea
Who got let out?
Yeah, one did. Another one's up, I think. Another one's coming up, I think. The idea that you're training in these mock sessions. I mean, think about that. You're going through the exercises in a mock session. Wow.
I mean,
that's
ballsy.
ballsy.
It's pretty incredible.
Pretty incredible.
And it's one thing if this is, an independent thing and that people are trying to help you be a good juror, like what to look for. Hey, you're going to a big trial. Here's a seminar on, how to make a good decision as a juror. That's one thing. This is basically how to fake your way on it and then to vote not guilty to get a hung jury to put a monkey wrench in the system, regardless of who that might harm. And that is the most insane thing you can. And our Republican Party here in D.C. doesn't say, I'm not even sure they understand it.
The conviction rate with grand juries out of Jeanine Pirro's office, not just contemporarily, but also in the past, was about 90 to 95%. It ain't that way anymore.
Now it's 50%.
Now it's about 50.
50. Why? Because they got these people voting
That's right.
no.
That's right.
No convict, and they get a hung jury.
I mean, this is serious
and
stuff.
And then they laugh.
And it jury nullification. I mean, even think of that title. You're going to nullify this? Just hung jury, just not guilty. Just find any little thing ever.
John Fredericks
that's what
Media
they're
Network.
being trained to do.
You're on DC Dispatch. Terry Gilberg with us, long-term media personality, Salem and Clear Channel, and we're
CBS.
a little and CBS. We're a little constricted today. We've also got Christina Goodlander, DC Vice Chair, DC GOP, and this is the Washington DC alternative to the fake news. So thank you for being with us every Thursday here at 9. Next week we'll be live. We'll all be remote on video. I'll be in Nashville. I want to get to a press release and a column I did the other day. I got picked up by a couple of outlets, NOTUS being one, and the Washington Examiner being another one. Whereas Ward 2 chairman, elected official here, I called for the new Commander Stadium, whatever you want to call it, the Washington Football Stadium, $1 billion of taxpayer money, and average families that live in wards 7 and 8, 6, 5, across the wards, they got 2 kids. They paid $1 billion in taxes for this stadium, and they're locked out of taking their family to a football game. They'll never see a game here because you got the corporate suites, you got the license fees. You want to take a family of 4 to a football game, here's going to cost you $1,000. You're going to take out a bank loan, basically. But yet you foot the bill. You're a working class Washingtonian. Your kids will grow up. They're Commanders fans. You want to take them to the game like my father took me many years ago to a Giants game in Yankee Stadium. We took the bus. I don't know. He spent 50, maybe 30, 40 bucks on it. We didn't have any money, but he took me to a Giants game at Yankee Stadium, or he took me to a Jets game at Shea Stadium. Tickets were maybe back then $7. In fact, I remember going to a Jets game at Randall's Island or some island out there back before Shea Stadium when I was a young man. That's how you get your kids involved. And now you can't do it. So what I'm calling for is very simple, right? I'm calling for a mechanism to say within the 60,000 seat stadium that 10,000 seats are reserved for local Washingtonians at $15 a ticket, period. Not 50, not 100, not 170, $15 a ticket, 4 tickets maximum, can't resell, can't go on the internet, can't scalp, can't resell, can't buy season tickets, can't buy it for multiple games. Every family get 1 game. You're going to have to do it in a lottery system. You got to go to will call. You got to show your ID. Sorry, you can vote without ID, but you can't get the tickets without it.
That's right.
Sorry, got to have ID. You got to get the tickets, and you can't resell them. And that's a crime. If you're on the street scalping them, you're going to jail, right? This is it. Reserve 10,000 seats for local fans who are paying for this stadium.
1 ticket at a time.
One maximum of 4, 1 game at a time.
Or 1 game at a time.
One game at a time, so you can bring your family and your kids. Damn it, you paid for the thing, and now you're locked out. I think it's outrageous that we don't have a program in place that says these many tickets go to families in D.C., not Northern Virginia, not Montgomery. Sorry, guys, get your own stadium. Get your own team.
That's right.
No, you got to be a resident of D.C., you got to have an ID, you get 4 tickets, $15. And yeah, is that going to hurt the revenue of the stadium owners and the Commanders owners? Sure. Hey, I got a news flash. Give us our $1 billion back and I'll drop my claim. But as long as we're giving you $1 billion, this is not, oh, John, you're encroaching on private enterprise. Not when you're getting $1 billion of my taxpayer money, right? Now I'm part owner of this thing because you took the money out of my pocket. I didn't vote for it. You took it. I voted for the council members that took it. Basically, I'm getting taxed, and our kids are getting locked out, and I think it's an outrage.
Well, compare that with the other side. Here's what the other side says. We need to sell PSL, that's personal seat licenses. A lot of you sports fans know about
outrageous.
that. But if you don't know about that, you have to buy that first, all right? And when you buy that, it's a mandatory. You have to buy it. That allows you then to be a season ticket holder and buy more tickets. So the first thing you have to do...
And the PSL is $5,000 a person.
$5,000 a person for the PSL. And the Commanders themselves need to make about $975 million to get back what's put in, or so they say. So what does that do when you do the math? I did the math. It's about $15,000 per seat just for the license fee before you get to buy a ticket to the game. Huh? I mean, what is wrong with that picture? And I love your idea, by the way. I want to compliment you on that. I love his idea. $15. And then I'll have a little money to buy a hot dog and actually enjoy it. And 10,000 seats, that's not asking too much.
No.
Out of a 65,000 seat venue.
We gave you $1 billion, dude.
Well, yeah.
And look, DC has a crime crisis. We have a cultural crisis of family breakdown.
That's right.
And like John said, if a father could take his son to the game, that's a very healthy thing for our society, and that could help heal some of these cultural problems that we're having in our city that have led to crime and dysfunction. If
You
we
get
start
the-
with functional families and we start with fathers
Exactly.
taking their sons to the game.
I mean,
and the mom too.
And the mom, or mothers
And
taking
mom,
their daughters
mom
to the
and
game. I
dad.
guess
And-
girls
and,
can be football fans.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
I am.
But when I was a kid growing
Yeah.
up, I mean, again, my father would take me to a football game. I mean, that's how I got involved in following football. And, you went with your dad and you talked about the game and it was exciting and it was fun. And we lived in New Jersey, so we had to take a bus and all that stuff. Here, these are people that you just take the metro, you take the bus, you go to the new stadium. I mean, this is an event for your family.
That's true.
I mean, what better things could you do for your kids? And you want to build, if I'm the Commander's owner, okay, let me tell you the benefit of this, okay? Stop worrying about the money. You got plenty. You got plenty of money. Okay, you got your corporate suites, you got your donors, you got the whole big. You got all the lobbyists, you got all the politicians are going in their suites, right? You got the whole thing going, right? So you got plenty of money. But think about what this does. This builds local fan loyalty in your hometown. There is nothing better than that. To have kids growing up, they love their Commanders. They buy your garb, they buy your gear. That's what they want for Christmas. The game comes on. They have it on, they have their hat on, they have their jersey on. I mean, that's what you want. You build goodwill. Instead of, I'm telling you, without my proposal, if somebody doesn't take it up, this is going to become a corporate elitist stadium where only the rich and famous go, where you got to spend $1,000 a game. Nobody can afford it. Everybody's from out of town. Nobody lives here. That's exactly what you're going to get. All the suites filled with all the politicians and all the mayor and council and all the congressmen. That's who's going to be here paying thousands of dollars. And we spend $1 billion in our tax money and we don't get squat.
So, John, have you taken your proposal to the mayor's office? And if so, what has Mariel Bowser said about it? Because this is a good proposal.
I'm getting there. I mean, I got the Washington Examiner picked it up and the reporter there sent it to them and asked them for comment. They made none. But the next thing I'm going to do is take it to Bowser.
None.
Well, they made no comment because they just, I don't blame them for that, but they need to comment on this. And I'm going to keep banging this drum because this is about our kids. We keep saying, oh, we need midnight basketball.
Right.
Okay, I'm for that too. I'm for midnight basketball too. But I'm for a father and a mom, a family taking their kids to a ball game, right? That's what I'm for, not locking them out because they can't afford it. And these PSL fees, they're insanity.
$15 a ticket. That's great. Then you've got the Diet Coke, then you got a couple of beers, then you've got hot dogs, you got hamburgers. It's affordable.
Yeah.
Even then, it's a couple $100, depending upon how many kids you have. But this is a very, very good proposal.
But you can work overtime and put that money away and you can do that. And you just go in a lottery.
And you know what? Maybe Mariel Bowser will say, hey, John, that's a great idea. Maybe. Let's see what she says.
I took it to the White House.
And
I don't discuss my private conversations.
Next week or the following week. We'll
but
find
I
out.
did take it there.
Good.
Because at the end of the day, they're going to have the juice.
I think so.
Home rule's going, baby. I'm telling you.
Okay.
It is going. As sure as I'm sitting
Listen
here.
up, everybody.
It's
Home
going.
rule, and
That's
it's
why
going to be history.
We're preparing for phase 2, Washington, D.C. They're going to do everything they can to dismantle what Trump has done. And home rule, if the Republicans hold the House, it's gone. See ya. John Fredericks Media Network on behalf of the D.C. Dispatch, Christina Goodlander, Terry Gilberg, Maria Pickering, not here today. Lindsay Rowland, she'll be back next week remotely. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network. Coming up next, you don't want to miss this. Live, well, you know who's coming up live. You know who it is. The one and only coming up live next. Wendy Bell. I'll see you at 6 o'clock tonight. Game on America. We're going over the SEC. See you then.
Internet. 5 trucks carrying relief supplies.